Oh, hey. What's going on? Kira in the chat writes the following. Sid has said the Sabres are not for real, but I get the feeling they might be. I get the feeling they're not for real, and I'm going to tell you why over the next 5 hours of this. We're not going 5 hours, Asa. No.
It's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came in to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now. Got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came in to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K. 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 S-I-C-K.
All in, we came in to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
You are now listening to The Sid Seixeiro Show. Powered by Sick Media, the sickest Toronto sports show. Now, here's your host, Sid.
What's up? It is Monday, March the 9th. I'm Sid. We're live on X. We are live on YouTube. This is our official 1-month anniversary, and we have not been canceled by Sick Media. Good job, Azza. Good job. Not canceled after a month in. Going strong, baby. Right off the front, I already noticed some people in the chat talking about the official Sick Media anthem. For those of you who listen on pods every day, we love you. Thank you for your support. But there is a part of the live viewing experience to this on YouTube and X where we just have a countdown for 3 minutes so everyone can kind of congregate. And the Sick theme plays. Now, some of you who listen just on the podcast and just on the audio version haven't heard this. It's becoming the #1 song in the nation. With all due respect to Harry Styles and whatever the hell else is going on out there. Lainey Wilson, is that the country artist, the big one? Anyway, I'm not as hip as I used to be. This Sick Media thing gets a reaction every time we play it. What's that, Azza?
You never were.
I never was hip. is what Jeff has a party saying. But someone in the chat today was saying, we need a link to this song, SICK on the Run. It makes you feel good. I got to be honest. I didn't know what I was hearing when I first heard it. I like it now. I really like it now. So I will push the good folks of Sick Media out of Montreal to post this somewhere, just even on YouTube. This thing will get a ton of hits on YouTube, TikTok, wherever. So I'm going to try and get that done for you, so you can have that as a ringtone or whatever. Maybe they can monetize it. I don't know. Sammy, the guru of the entire operation, he knows how to monetize a lot of things.
You just want to be in the video.
I want to be in the video. And when it's the SICK on the run part, it's just me running through parts of Southern Ontario. It's not a complicated video shoot. It's like organized rhyme in the 80s or in the early 90s. Check the OR. Very simple video concept. So we'll try and do that, because every time we play that song coming through the countdown, there are people who really, really like it. So we'll try that. Like you, I don't know if I'm sick right now. I don't know if allergies are kicking in. I don't know if it's just we lost an hour of sleep over the weekend, but I feel a little run down. I know I look amazing. That's not the point. The point is I feel a little off today. And I love it, because spring has arrived in Southern Ontario, man. It is here, not officially. I get it. There's like freezing rain coming this week. It's another cold weekend. I don't care. Spring is here, plus 10 days in the city of Toronto and corresponding Greater Toronto area. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The snow is gone. You can see where all the dog owners have hid the poo. It's all unearthed now. Now you can see it. Right, Azo? As a dog owner, you know that trick. Yeah, oh, here's 10 centimeters. Now I can see everything. But even though I'm sure you feel like me, it's always weird losing the hour. But the weather is just outstanding. And I have to be honest, like, Leaf fans losing an hour is a welcome thing. They wish a lot of hours could get lost between now and the end of the season. Lose all the hours. They want no hours.
Just like the games.
Just like the games. Just like Saturday night. By the way, to everyone in the chat on X and YouTube, if you were at that game on Saturday and you were one of the folks cheering loudly for the Nick Robertson 5-2 goal with 40 seconds to go or whatever it was, I know half of you were being ironical about it, and I'm here for it. I think that's funny. Good for you. The other folks who were legitimately cheering the 5-2 Nick Robertson goal, why? Two things. Why were you still there? And why were you cheering that loudly for that? I don't get it. I do not get it. Couple things on the Leafs off the front. Actually, we got a lot of things on the Leafs for obvious reasons. And trade deadline. And the Jays had like the best weekend out of everybody over the weekend. Like I'm lost track of good Blue Jay stories from the weekend. We do have an update on Anthony Santander. We will get to that later. The Jays had a great weekend. RJ Barrett had another good game for the Raps. And some hilarious and very predictable NFL stuff is happening as free agency approaches Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern this week. But let's start with the Leafs. From the chat here, Azo, this is Now Awake G2G, who writes, "We must accept Leafs as a good team for losing all of their games." It is an interesting way to look at it. And I think the Leafs are 6 points out of 5th worst overall. And the Leafs have a top 5 protected pick this year. By the way, the top 5 protected pick, if it stays as a Leaf this year and is top 5, guess what? That means next year's is going to Boston. You can't run away from this. I think there are some of you who think the Leafs can run away with this like it's some 8-bit Nintendo game and you don't have to give the pick over. No. You will have to shed your blood to Boston at some point, either this year or next year. And same with the Philadelphia pick next year. You either give it to him next year or you got to wait another year. It's got to happen. But there's a lot of Leafs Nation who wants that pick this year. They want to keep the top 5 pick. Apparently, a lot of defensemen in the draft this year. Seems like something they would kind of need. Seems like it would make sense. Also, I got a tweet in from Joe who writes, Leaf fans at this point are just hoping they really aren't trying, even though they look like they are. Tank, get a high pick, hopefully be good enough to fix it next year. Well, fix it's quite the term, Joe. Appreciate the feedback. Fix it is quite the term. So when last we saw you on Friday, we had just confirmed the biggest trade in Leafs history, a third rounder for Scott Laughton. And then Azzo and I just went home after doing 3+ hours straight of content for you, which we had a great time doing. And thanks to everyone in the chat for contributing. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. But we didn't hear from anyone yet. In fact, it was still 45 minutes away before we heard Nazem Kadri is a Colorado Avalanche again, which was a whole nother thing. Good for Naz. No team treated a player better, maybe in the history of the time, than Calgary treated Nazem Kadri. Not only $7 million a season, but they sent you back to the team you really wanted to be with. That's crazy. And they're eating money. The Flames, one of the cheapest organizations in hockey, ate 20% per year on the cap to send you back to Colorado and maybe win a cup this year with Nick Waugh and the rest of the guys from the Colorado Avalanche. But this was quite a weekend for the Leafs. Like this was quintessential post-deadline weekend for the Leafs. You have Kadri back in Colorado. Corey Perry arrives in Toronto at 5 a.m. Saturday and scores a goal against the Leafs. Like it's nothing. Tampa just had a no-hitter, and they beat them 5-2, which set them up for yesterday's game, which we'll talk about in a second. Scott Laughton on no sleep scores for the Kings. Nick Waugh scores a tying goal in his first appearance for Colorado. It's just been it's not bad luck. The Leafs are not doing this well. They're not doing this properly. And the one thing I really wanted to hear Friday afternoon was Brad Treliving, GM of the Leafs. And the big picture question is kind of what's going on here? Because we haven't heard from Pelly aside from a weird letter and some sarcasm at a TFC press conference. Berube is like the guy he still thinks he's at war in a country and it ended like 10 years ago. He's still trying to win every game. Like he's pulling goalies down 4-1. Is that not the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen in your life? And then Matthews just coughs it up like it's nothing. And like, that's just, it's a weird vibe. Strange. But big picture Leaf fans would like to know, because this year's lost. What is the deal going forward with the Toronto Maple Leafs? Because no one's talked about it. Friday, 3:30, 4 o'clock, something like that, out comes Brad Treliving. I remember a day when the Leafs would have a full podium set up for stations to go live to capture every word from the Leafs GM. This was like a scrum. This was off to the side. I don't even know if they wired it up where you can go to it live. I don't think they could have. The Leafs were in no hurry to live broadcast this out to the world. If I were them, neither would I. But Brad Treliving spoke, and we broke this down a few different ways. The lead item from my perspective in terms of Treliving was when Luke Fox of Sportsnet basically squared him up. And I credit Luke for this. And said, so what's the plan? Because your fans don't know the plan? And at some, Treliving throughout this media availability, appearance on Kipper and Bourne, appearance on Overdrive, there was a common theme of today's not the day for the autopsy, which I do understand. But I still think you're still being paid by the Leafs on Friday. So I believe as a spokesperson for the organization, you do owe them a little. You owe them something. So Luke Fox basically said to Treliving, so what are we doing here? Like, what is next year? Is it a retool? Is it a rebuild? Like, what are we doing? Brad Treliving answered this
I understand that fans might be a bit confused or in the dark about where the direction of this organization is headed next year and the year after.
Where the direction is?
Yeah, like if this
That's
is
the
a
direction.
minor reset or if it like is.
Oh, I think it's important that we have to communicate that, right? And that's what we have to get to people once we get to the end of the year of where this team's going. You know, the purpose of today was change. Change has to occur, right? How and what that is will be determined over the coming days, but today was an opportunity for us to try as hard as we can to collect and gain as many assets as we possibly could, and then we go from there.
So you don't know the direction, you haven't ruled out the possibility of a rebuild in the...
Yeah, I know everybody wants to speculate on, and we've all got, you know, the re-words, but there's got to be some change, and I think that's for us to sit down and look hard and fast at. It's been a disappointing year. You know, we can look back at a big chunk of this team and the year that they had last year, but this is this year.
The comments in the chat are flying in here. Chris in the chat, Looney hot dog night should happen. I think it's a good idea. The Leafs should just take that idea. Rogers owns the Leafs now too. Why not? Bruffy in the chat, bad luck that happens every year isn't bad luck anymore. It's a great point. It's a terrific point. Ann in the chat, meanwhile, AM34 can't put one in the net if it was empty. Oh, snap. Boom face. The Treliving thing is there was a different tone with him, I'll say that. I don't know what's coming down the pike here. I don't know what his future is with the organization. The one concerning thing about that I heard was he kept saying, well, we have to have change. This was the same guy who fed us the DNA line within the last 12 months. Right? Same general manager. Same. I get the impression inside the Leafs organization, talking a big game in terms of change is way easier than doing it. For example, how many times did the Leafs go up to Oliver Ekman-Larsson in the last 72 hours prior to the deadline and say, are you willing to waive? According to Ekman-Larsson, it never happened. Darren Dreger said this morning, how many times did the Leafs go up to Morgan Riley and ask him about his no movement clause? The answer was never. You know what's never going to change if you don't ask people stuff? Anything. Anything. So my biggest problem with that, and he had to be vague, because I think the Leafs have a bigger issue here in terms of the plan in that they don't know what to do. But you got to stop talking about change if you cannot deliver it. This organization's too wrapped up in players. It cannot deliver real change. It can talk a big game. They can't do it. Brad Treliving talked about DNA change last year and brought in Matias Michelli. And he scored a lot lately. One of the biggest cowards in the National Hockey League is Matias Michelli. When things are going bad, Superman. Out of the phone booth. I have zero respect for that. Zero. I needed him in that 5-game homestand when Marner came back. Where the hell was he? Where the hell was Matias Michelli? Give me a break. Incredible. Unbelievable. But in terms of change, he can't do it. Butts in the chat. It's B-U-T-Z. That's all I got. Butts. I love Sid's serious face while talking about the Leafs, talking about a plan. Guys, you should kind of get serious about this too. If they screw this up in the next 12 months, you know what's going to happen? Hell on earth for 10 years. You become what the Sabres were if you're not careful here. You think this is a joke, man? If you care about the Leafs, you need the same face I got right now. And I'm not even married to that team like other content creators. God bless them. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't. You have months to get this right. Months. If it doesn't happen just right, if it isn't the Ocean's 11 plan on the 3 casinos, you're done. So the other person, it's already screwed up, Sid, MST in the chat. Correct. It's already screwed up. But if you want to change things, maybe there's a window here. Because at some point, the window is going to be gone. And that window is still maybe 2 more years of Austin Matthews under contract for you. So I have to say publicly, I did not hear anyone square up Treliving in terms of have you spoken to Austin Matthews about the future. Not on any show, not in that media avail. The closest I came to hearing it, the closest, was Rosie DiMano on Friday. And she brought up to Austin Matthews, this is kind of weird for you, isn't it? This losing? How do you feel? Tell us something. And in the clip we're going to run here, like he starts to actually let his conscience run. And then he checks himself in the middle of it and talks about taking it one game at a time. You can actually hear him do it. Robot Matthews took over halfway through the answer. He's like, I don't like this. I don't like this honesty. There's one thing about Austin Matthews. He's consistent in front of the Toronto media. He doesn't give you a thing. He doesn't give you a thing. But Rosie DiMano of the Star tried. Here it is.
Taking it one game at a time, making sure that we're ready to compete each night and having fun, sticking together, putting in an effort that we can be proud of when we leave the rink. And I think it's something that we owe to one another. I think we owe to the fans.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll get the other one. This is we got it? Yeah. Sorry, my bad. This is Rosie. She tees it up, and Austin starts to talk, and then he switches up.
Deal, and it's it's not fun. I mean, it's never fun losing and being in this position, in this situation. But we have to take responsibility. It's obviously on the players, and you kind of lay in the bed you make. So for us, it's tough. It's never a good time. But I mean, we can only control what's in front of us right now, and it's our attitude and our compete level and towards tonight's game and trying to get back on the right track and trying to get a hold of some games, trying to win some games, get a good feeling back in the locker room no matter what.
That happened about 10 seconds, 15 seconds in. He's like, I'm being a little too honest here. I don't like it. Paul in the chat, Matthews wants out so bad. I mean, he did speak in that clip about lying in the bed you've made, which does take some responsibility upon the players. Like the players play the games, right? Let's remind ourselves of this. The Toronto Maple Leafs are the ones that go out there. The Toronto Maple Leafs are the ones that don't perform. The Toronto Maple Leafs are the one that Austin Matthews hasn't scored a goal in 11 games. That's one of the worst games I've ever seen him play Saturday. Ever. He's playing with Nylander. There's some talent on his line. I couldn't believe some of the stuff he was pulling. And I know there's criticism about the one line that Treliving had with Kipper and Bourne about we will have a plan. They don't have one now, but Treliving said, I'm not making this up. He said, we will have a plan. The insinuation in that is they don't have one now. We'll get to that in a second because Treliving does walk you through when they decided to sell. And it's kind of earlier than you might think. Although there was still no questions Friday as well about what the hell happened in New Jersey that Wednesday morning when all the guys were playing and then all of a sudden they weren't. There was no questions about that and the lack of communication between Berube and Treliving. But the line Treliving said on Sportsnet of we will have a plan is traveling. As it should. As it should. But I think that was one of his most honest moments. And the reason I believe it was his most honest moment Friday is for one simple truth. The Toronto Maple Leafs cannot formulate a plan without talking to Austin Matthews. Clearly, that's not happening right now. But there is no plan unless you know 34 is in or out. They have to talk to him. And they have to get that impression. And that is 100% on Pelle. That is not a Brad thing. Berube lost Matthews months ago. Berube's inconsequential. It's a Pelle thing. And I genuinely believe they don't know what to do until they know about Matthews. They're not doing the Marner thing again, I'll tell you that. What freaks me out, though, is the following. If they decide to clean house on Treliving and Berube, and based on the resume this season, they're warranted on both fronts, they're going to do this kick the can down the road thing on Austin and just bring in new guys, and you're back to square one, just like you were on Marner. Brad Treliving coming in a month before Marner's no trade kicks in, or less than that. It was weeks. It wasn't even a month. It was weeks. That's the nightmare. That's the nightmare. Some new GM who wants to, or president who wants to be the hot shot, flies down to Arizona, just like Treliving did, talks to Matthews, just like Treliving did. Matthews doesn't give you much. And you're like, I think we're in a good place. And then on top of that, Matthews gives you the impression he wants to compete next year. Because why wouldn't he? So then you try and get people with this group, a completely incompetent Morgan Riley, an aging John Tavares. This group, Jake McCabe shouldn't be dressing in this league right now. He shouldn't be. Him and Simone Benoit are the most hilarious defensive pair I've ever seen in my life. And I saw the Leafs in the 80s. But you can't formulate a plan without knowing where Matthews is at. You cannot do it. That's why they don't have one. The best they got was we need to trade people. But they need to figure that out. Treliving shouldn't take heat for that because I think that's an honest admission. Letting that sleeping dog lie is going to be a problem, though. If you come in next year and Pelly's like, not on my watch, we're going to rebuild, and they try this, that, and your other thing, and they act like Dakota Joshua and Matthias Michelli can do something, that's a problem. Without knowing Matthews' future, there is no future for the Toronto Maple Leafs. There is no plan. That's the reality. They better get that answer very, very soon, or they're screwed for a long, long time. Warrior Wump in the chat, Shanahan 2.0. You better pray that's not what this is. Jeff has a party. Good afternoon.
Hey, Sid. How's it going?
How you feeling?
A little bit out of sorts myself.
I'm totally out of sorts,
right?
man.
Like, I don't know what's going on. I guess it is the time change.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, it
it
has to be.
And the spring weather, it's all confusing.
Spring weather. I'm still throwing about Canada-Panama last night, the WBC.
Right.
I'm super annoyed by that.
That gave some bad vibes, yeah. They had that game. They should have had it. Anyway.
Kenneth
We'll
Walker.
get into that later.
Kenneth Walker to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow.
What just happened
They
here?
said they were in the market for a big splash in the
Whoa.
running back. They're going to have to rely on their run game. Okay. Why are you sidetracking?
Mahomes will like that.
Yeah.
It's NFL free agency week, folks. There's going to be stuff flying in left and right.
And he won't be there first few weeks probably, so they can rely on the run game a lot more, right?
100%. Net strike in the chat. Good afternoon, Nazo. Everyone, I love how in the chat everyone just chimes in with a good afternoon, Nazo. I love
just
that.
like you. You're setting the tone.
Your thoughts on anything you heard from Treliving off the front of that and Matthews?
He just sounded like a guy defeated. Like
Treliving?
Yeah.
It's a different sounding Treliving,
It's
isn't
a
it?
way different sounding Treliving.
Very different sounding Treliving.
And the only thing I think a lot of people just overvaluated what he could get for Lawton and for McMahon. Like, no more ripping Nick Waugh, okay? Because he's the only thing that fetched us a first round.
Oh, I'm not ripping. Who's ripping Nick Waugh?
I know.
Nick Waugh's going on the Leafs Legends Row. Are you kidding me?
Like, anybody thought he was going to get more for those other two guys, though. Like, thinking about it now, they're just pure rentals, right?
Yeah,
like, I know he got held to the fire last year, but those guys had a year or more of term. And to think he was going to get anything else, that's why I just thought, you saw us Friday. I thought that deal with those two deals were going to get done early. Just give me your best offer. And it's weird, the teams they went to, too. Like, I don't know. But yeah, he just sounded to me like a guy defeated. He didn't want to be out there. He was trying to take blame for it all, which is, I don't know, it's painful to listen to. Like everybody has their part in it. And yeah, I mean, again, I think they're going to try and figure out a way to somehow run it back. To your point, like what does it come down to? If they can get in the top 5 on if they actually rebuild or reset, or I don't know. I don't know how you're viewing the rest of these games, because it feels really weird watching this team.
Well, I think like
Matthews in the longest goal streak since his rookie year. Like
Matthews did not want to be out there Saturday night. Like I'm not saying like I'm telling you what I saw. Like anyone who watched that game and comes away with a different perspective has lost their mind.
Yeah,
like he did not. The turnovers I saw were egregious. Again, like there was one where he was in front of the net wide open and like almost tried to pass, like to flick it in, to pass it in. He had 69 goals one year.
I know.
Fire it.
Again, this is the longest
what are you
goal
doing?
drought since his rookie year.
Well, and Berube has like his numbers under Berube have cratered.
Yes,
and it's not just this
both
season.
Seasons.
Yes,
yeah.
It's not just this season.
It's crazy.
But keep telling me he's a good defensive player. Keep telling me Matthews is a good defensive player.
But I think Treliving, somebody did ask him about Matthews, right? Because I do remember hearing that quote. But you're right, he did the round, so I'm not even sure which round it was in. That fact that they're paying him as much as they do, they need him to score. But I did think he said that, yeah, we talked to Matthews, and he obviously, what else is he going to say?
He's not going to give you much.
No.
But he's not going to give you much.
And again, it's all depending what happens next year, because that's another season and another year. I don't see how they turn this thing around, man.
Sean in the chat, 69 goals was nice. Wasn't that nice?
It was fun.
That was a good time, wasn't
fun.
it? It was just every night. It was 2 goals, and it was like 2 goals by the end of the first period.
Right.
Like he would have those nights where you were just like, he might break Sittler's points record in this game.
Yeah.
Like he looked that good in some of those games.
If he went 1 or 2 games without scoring, then he'd have a monster game where you'd hit like 3 or 4 or at least 2.
Good point.
It's been crazy.
Good point.
Where is that Austin though? Like, are we ever going to get him back?
I don't know. It's a really good question, but there's no question Berube's not the guy.
Yeah.
Like I'll hold the Berube thing because we are going to hear about Berube from Treliving in a second.
If we keep it on Treliving though, to the same question, a lot of like there's a prevailing view now that Treliving is going to be back. Have you heard that? Like, do you get the sense more people are talking about him coming back now, especially guys around the team? Like, I don't know. I feel like that's becoming more and more of a discourse now around this team, is that Treliving will get another shot to try and do something with it.
Well, okay. You know what? I mean, well, one more Matthews thing here, and then the chats are flying in, right? Like I'm bringing one up and then it leaves. But, actually, sorry, I'm going to paraphrase. But someone in the chat was just like, considering that he might be hurt and considering his streak, has Austin Matthews scored his last goal as a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs? That's a stretch.
That is.
It's an interesting point in the chat, but I think that's a stretch. I'm going to make a prediction. I think Austin scores between now and the end of the season. Final 18 games of the season.
So here's the one thing I would say for the Leafs now, like that might have flipped. What they could get in the trade market might flip now to the offseason, and they might be able to get more because now they got guys with term, and some teams who are looking to add pieces who can't get it in the draft might be more willing to trade with Toronto come the offseason.
Maybe. Join Engine in the chat. Joke of an organization if Tree stays. One thing about the deadline, we're going to get back into the Treliving sound.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Would you want to come into this position? Like, I know we're going to get into president talk too, but like, what does this organization offer somebody to come in where you don't have many draft picks, you don't have much? Like, what's the selling point to bring somebody new in here?
I think you are still underestimating the pull and the paycheck of that job.
Okay.
The GM job and the president job of the Toronto Maple Leafs is still one of the highest paying in all of professional hockey anywhere in the world. Anywhere. Same for the head coach.
Yeah. I believe that.
There's no salary cap on that. The Leafs can toss a whole bunch of money. They sell a ton of wings at Real Sports. They're fine.
Mm-hmm.
They can pay for it.
And I guess you buy yourself some time because there's no expectations it's going to turn around right away.
I mean, under your pretense, it's an excellent point. If you're ever going to come in like with a fresh slate, it might be next year or the year after.
Right. But right now, you don't even have draft picks to try and turn it around.
You have more than you had.
Right. But still, not that many. You still don't have your first in the next 2 years. Or like you say, it just keeps like to the next year or the next year.
Can I defend? I'm going to do one thing no one's doing. Can I defend Treliving on one thing?
No, I feel like he
would
needs
like
a little bit of defense.
I would like to because the one thing I'm hearing a lot from like people who really should know better is, well, you could have got more.
That's BS.
You could have got more. Do you not think if they were offered a first for McMahon, they would have taken it? Of course they would have taken. Do you think if another team's dumb enough to offer you a first for a fourth liner who's not playing well, that they would have taken it? Scott Laughton isn't that good. Bobby McMahon isn't that good.
Agreed.
You're lucky you got a first for Wah. Wah's been buried on this team.
But it's because you had another year of control on Wah. The other two guys you didn't. They're pure rentals.
But the notion you should have gotten, the market dictates what your ass receives. You cannot make that up out of thin air and tell other teams, I'm getting this and that. That is dumb, completely naive BS.
Agreed.
You cannot, that's not how professional sports or any other negotiation in life for that matter works. You either have leverage or you don't. The Maple Leafs, A, were desperate, B, had bad players, C, everyone knew they had to move them. They're lucky they got a pick.
Exactly.
They're lucky they got a pick. Any fan looking at their play, like, you really don't know how bad Scott Laughton was. You really don't know how average Bobby McMahon was. Because if he wasn't, you'd have gotten more for him, but you didn't. So shut up. You have no idea what the market is for these players. You watch 82 Leaf games a year and you turn off the TV. Watch another game. Watch what other teams are doing. These are average to below average players. Because you gave up a prospect and a first for Laughton doesn't mean other teams are that stupid. You were that stupid. You can't flip that because you feel like it. Watch another game in the league for 4 seconds, and you'll see how average a hockey player he is. I'm a little upset with that.
Except, you know what's funny about that? I think Jonas Siegel had the piece. You know who played the most minutes with Matthews on the top line? Domi and McMahon this year.
What is Max Domi doing?
Like, that's your top
line. What is Max Domi
and
doing?
as he said, I think he said it exactly in the piece. Like, no disrespect, but those shouldn't be a top line.
Sorry. Max Domi is the best of the league at jumping you early in a fight and cheap shotting you before you get going. He's the best at that.
So to your point,
he's the best at that.
I think you got what you got from them because they're pure rentals, and even the teams who got them aren't like necessarily dying to offer them a new contract.
The market, the one thing Treliving said on all 3 interviews on Friday was the market dictates.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Because your ass was full of desperation last year. You made that decision. And you made that market last year. You initiated that. Other people, they'll decide on their own. They'll figure it out.
But again, he got guys with term. These guys didn't have any term. Nick Waugh even got you a first because he has 1 more year of control. If you have 1 more year of anything, you can probably bump it up to a first.
It's a good point. In hindsight, the Nick Waugh move is the miracle of the season.
100%.
Because this front office
he's their fourth line center.
Lost at sea, man. Like just lost. The one, but I'll say this. Having Ekman Larsson, assuming Ekman Larsson has a similar year next year, that's why I really was high on trading him this year.
Right. But maybe
he was
still
great
do it in the offseason, man.
Maybe.
Because now it opens it up to the rest of the league. It's not just a 16 team no trade or no movement clause. And maybe in the offseason, a team resets and says, well, we can't get this kind of defenseman in the draft, so let's go trade for him. And maybe they give up something for him. I think the tides in that, what the market dictates, has changed come the offseason.
It always changes. Right. No, to your point, you are accurate. So, it changes. But in this moment, and on Friday, Thursday, and Wednesday of last week, I got news for you. The league looked at these players and said,
agreed.
They're not as good as you think they are. I don't care what Keith Pelly thinks, a guy who's never run a hockey team in his life. I'm not giving you a first for Laughton, and I'm not giving you a first for Bobby McMahon. That's what the market said. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Wah's now
nothing.
The fourth line center for the Avalanche. And they gave a first round to him. So if they wanted a guy, they would give up a first rounder.
100%.
And now, you know what kills me though? Kadri going there just means the Colorado's going to be even better next year. They're still going to be so good next year that pick is going to be like the 32nd
Maybe.
pick.
Samuel in the chat. Kevin Adams, new GM, Toronto Maple Leafs.
If you build it, he will come.
Oh, what a world we are living in. All right. I wanted to get that market thing off my chest.
No, it's true.
Because that one was bothering me.
I know. I hate people saying
that one was. You create your market. Shut up. The hell do you know about that?
And again, they went to teams we didn't even hear them rumored to. So I don't even think those teams are looking to offer them a contract come the offseason or free agency. I think they're pure rentals. You're not going to give up a lot for that.
And by the way, what would the market here in Toronto be saying if they kept both of those pending UFAs?
Right. You had to dump
crucified.
them. Right.
They'd be Treliving would be crucified.
The only thing
he
I
had
wonder,
to make those moves.
to one of your points, this clip we're going to play, my only point would be, had they decided sooner, they could have maybe jumped the market and got more, right? But I guess guys went out and got who they went.
Potentially.
Like McCarron went for a lot too, which is crazy, but
a decent amount.
Right.
Not a first though.
No.
Guy in the chat, Treliving is staying 100%. Why would they make him make moves if he was leaving? The Leafs would do something like that though.
Yeah.
The Leafs, listen, keep in mind, I believe Treliving and Berube also, if they let them go, they're paying them for not working. Rogers Communications does not like that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't.
Who does?
Well, I mean, teams that want to win and maybe want Berube off the bench
Like
because
the Miami Dolphins?
Berube's pulling goals up, pulling a goalie down 4-1 in a hockey game like some kind of fool.
Yeah.
Enough. Like, what are we doing here? Like, stop embarrassing each other. Enough of the embarrassing the Leafs.
Look what the Dolphins did today.
Jesus.
It's true.
Well, they had to get rid of Tua. That was,
but that dead cap space is crazy.
well, they knew that was coming.
I know.
They knew that was coming.
But like you said, it's got to become a business at some point.
Scorpio in the chat. Kevin Adams, former Leaf.
There you go. Because that always works out so well.
Played in that horrible game 6 versus the Devils where we got 6 shots in a playoff. Oh, Scorpio. That's a nice pull. I forgot about that.
I forgot about that.
That's a very good pull from Scorpio.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Too cold, Scorpio there. Good for you. All right, we have more Treliving. You want to dive into some more Treliving?
Yeah, of course.
Unless
it
there's
was the big news. We were all waiting to hear from it.
I know. Like, we just haven't heard anyone from the Leafs in any serious way talk to their fan base. I think that's kind of important. As much as Pelly was laughing it off while he's talking about his Josh Sargent signing with TFC.
Do you believe this stuff about the direction that they have to actually wait till the end of the what is this last 19 games showing you? Anything?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that does lead me to believe though that Treliving and Berube are in big trouble. The fact that Treliving had so few updates about what was to come. And if you're the Leafs and you want to tank, then you keep Berube right where he is. Because he has lost the plot.
Easily.
He has lost the plot. So if you want a top 5 pick this year, Craig Berube is the gatekeeper.
They already have 2 regulation wins in the last 20 games, 21 games.
It's something like that.
It's crazy.
It's something like that. But in terms of listen, this is just me talking. I'll tell you what I think is going to happen is they're both staying.
Both?
Yeah.
Come on.
I think they're both staying.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep. Unlucky. Injuries. Unlucky.
So you think he can get the room back, or they think he can get the room back? Because anybody who watches that sees he lost them.
I just don't think Pelly thinks it's as bad as the fans think. And quite frankly, because that's Pelly's job at stake, if it is that bad. It is. So if I'm Pelly, I'm like, it's not Tony, it's not that bad. And they're like, okay.
Then the Matthews thing scares me even more.
Oh, the Matthews, watch them kick the can down the road on Matthews. This is gonna free, and I'm talking strictly from an asset management thing. I'm not saying Matthews is the answer. Hasn't been the answer for 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he is. I'm saying let's not Marner this again. And let's make a trade when you should make a trade and show some balls and do the difficult thing that could lead you towards long-term sustained spring and early summer success.
Get ahead of it? Why?
I think they're staying. But the reason to let
both, I can't believe you're
I
saying
think they're
both.
staying. I think they're going to keep them. Because that's the complete opposite thing you should do.
Mm-hmm.
But Treliving,
and you think
based on Treliving and his asset management last trade deadline, Michelli and Joshua,
the addition,
long-term contract to Max Domi. It's not one thing with Treliving. It's not one thing. Berube is not in any way, shape, or form adjusting to a lot of losing. So what makes you think he will next year?
He's yelling more now, isn't he?
Let him.
Yeah, I know.
Let him.
That's what I mean. It's just a joke.
He's
now you're seeing.
He's using the C4 makeup well around the cut herd around the world.
Mm-hmm.
He looks a lot better. He's not that quick a healer. That's pretty much makeup.
Yeah.
But there's mounting evidence with the two of them. I still think last year with Berube was a fluke because of the goaltending. Mm-hmm. So you can even combine last year. Both Berube and Treliving do not deserve to be with this hockey team next year. The problem is I believe they're both signed. The problem is Rogers does not like having people work for free. That's why Shanahan stayed last year when he was kind of persona non grata. But based on the resume, those two have lost the plot on numerous fronts.
Yeah. Can't disagree with
And
that.
Pelly, if he wants to here, make the case for severe change and really look at the Austin situation through clear eyes, now's the time. But I don't think the Leafs, stop me if you've heard this before, I don't think the Leafs always make the right decision. Because there's a lot of pressure in this town.
Right.
I get it. But the league just can't continue to be run by teams who win because they make tough decisions and they have one media member at their practices, so they feel free to do that. This organization here needs to feel free to do the right thing. What's the right thing? The right thing is you fire both of them. Based on what I heard Treliving say on Friday, he knows he's going out the door potentially. I'm not convinced, but he certainly is talking that way. And then you deal with Austin by the middle of June. By the middle of June, you know if Austin Matthews wants to sign here long-term or not. Weeks before the trade deadline or the free agent deadline.
You have to.
Weeks.
You have to.
And a week before the draft. You need all that information sorted. And then you go from there. All right, let's talk about the roster construction. This is where Treliving, this raised a flag to me that Treliving might know something about his own situation. So he mentions here about why they're in the situation they're in. This was one of the first answers that he gave on Friday.
A host of reasons. I'll take responsibility. You know, we met earlier in the year through about the 20 game mark where we got off to a slow start. And again, the failures here start with me. And once we get through the end of the season, there'll be all sorts of evaluation. But to start parsing through it right now, I think, Mark, we've got games to play. But it's, there's a lot. We got off to a poor start. I look from my standpoint, some roster construction issues, lack of consistency, the ability to maintain any kind of level. There's been a whole bunch of factors, but we'll get to that in due course.
The roster construction line stood out to me.
Of course.
Like, how do you defend yourself against that? He hasn't made the one move. Like, he's not the new guy through the door. Dubas just leaves and he's great with the media and let's see what he does. Like, that's not the situation we're in anymore. Just based on roster, never mind the pick management. Roster construction, I believe that's a fireable offense. Would you agree or disagree with that, Azzo?
Totally agree. I just told you who spent the most time on the top line with Austin Matthews this year. It's Domi and McMahon. Like, come on. That's not a contending team. I'm sorry. Not even as it's been proven. It's not even a playoff team.
Patrick in the chat, get rid of Riley. You can't.
If you could.
You can't.
But here's the other, like, how do you get that? Like, okay, if he wants to make roster construction, now these guys are locked up for so many years.
That's the problem.
You can't get it in free. Like, look at the free agency list this year. It's not good again.
Look at your own list. It's not good. Never mind free agency.
It's true. And the
Look
guys
at your list.
And the guys you're tied to now for a while.
So that was one where I heard it and I said, okay, there's a decent amount of mea culpa here from Brad Treliving. Now, how do you defend it? Like, is the other side of that coin.
So let me ask you this. If he knows he's coming back, is that easier to do? If
Yes.
they've already promised him?
Yes.
Right. That was my first take.
It's an excellent point.
That was my first take.
Yes.
Maybe he does know he's coming back.
If he knows he's coming back.
It's easy to fall on that.
Because, like, there's two ways to do that. One, you've been told you're coming back, but you need to kind of take your lumps publicly. So kind of do it the way Brad's doing
Get
it.
ahead of it.
Get ahead of it. Or the other way is if you're Sean McDermott after a playoff game and you think it's coming, you make the case. And say, Buffalo, I'm here for you, Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo. 4, Buffalo. 4.
No, but then draft stories start leaking out.
And then draft stories start leaking out. I'm telling you, there is a plausible argument to be made. Leaf fans, you do not want to hear this. Berube and Treliving might be back. Now, if Treliving feels comfortable in any way, maybe he's already made the side agreement to sacrifice Craig. And we'll go down that road in a second.
But again, how many times have they done this? Where they're like, you don't start fresh with both guys. Like one overlaps with the other. You either change one or the other, and then there's this weird in between. Well, maybe I can do something with these players, and that's why they're not on the same page.
I'm reading this partially for the handle, but Leaping Lanny Poffo 141 writes, Poet Laureate, Leaping Lanny Poffo. Talk about the Sabres game last night.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. Boy,
almost been an
Buffalo,
hour,
this is going to hurt when the Sabres lose in the first round, eh? This is really going to hurt. It's going to really hurt.
The Sabres are making people want to
I will be that guy on the internet about the Sabres. I got no problems with it. You're Buffalo. You don't win anything. You don't win in the NFL. You don't win in the National Hockey League. The Bisons kind of suck. You don't win at all. I'm not scared of Sabres Nation in any way, shape, or form. Think I'm scared of Jarmo Kekalainen? Are you kidding me? I'll be the heel on the Sabres on the internet. I'll be the guy.
How many
Don't
players
worry
said
about
no
it.
to going there this trade?
Oh my God, the Sabres. We're so good. Colton Parayko. No. Absolutely.
Rob Thomas maybe too.
They got good wings. Nope.
Be part of the best D core in the league.
My
Nope.
God. So Brad Treliving took his lumps.
Yeah.
But he also he threw something out there in the next clip I thought was also very interesting along the lines of they've been trading picks around here forever. And it went like this.
Made a decision a while ago before the break that we were going to be as active as we could in terms of trying to recoup some assets, whether that be picks or prospects. This team for a number of years has been adding at this time of the year, and today was the day, and leading up to today was the day to try to regain some assets. And again, I know there's lots of speculation and all sorts of things out there. The market speaks. At the end of the day, we were trying to be as active as we could to obtain and acquire as many young assets as we could, and we were able to do what we were able to do.
Side note here, Redemption in the chat. Colton Parayko has a family in St. Louis. Yeah, I guess there's no homes in Buffalo to move to. I guess there's no homes. You can't bring a family to Buffalo. It's never happened before. No athlete has brought their family to Buffalo. It's a great point.
And some guys just want to win. If you like to win,
he's got a family.
Yeah. Well.
The line we've been adding at the deadline for many years in this city. He's not wrong.
Nope.
Part of the reason the cupboard is bare isn't completely Brad Treliving. It is the Shanahan diving all in on a group of choke artists philosophy. Ryan O'Reilly. I actually thought that was their best team though.
Really?
The Ryan O'Reilly, the Tampa year. Yeah, like that had to be their best team. Wasn't that Luke Shen too? Luke Shen, Ryan O'Reilly.
Yep.
Like that was one where I'm like, oh, okay. And then they lose in 5 to Florida.
I mean, every year. Was Foligno
Nick Foligno was the 2021 postseason. The two first rounders for Nick Foligno.
They brought that veteran in that was going to get them over the hump.
That's not Treliving.
Yeah.
Treliving's point, like, if you want to get mad at Treliving, fine. That point he made about, I didn't trade all our picks, guys, is kind of valid. He's right. Traded some first rounders last year in ridiculous circumstances. The Brandon Carlo wasn't ridiculous, though.
No, it wasn't.
The Lawton one was shocking.
Yes. But again, what was the one thing everybody said? That they needed a center, and everyone who was rumored to them got off the board. So he did get trapped with that one.
He did. Steeler in the chat. We have a great history of GMs and roster builders who suck. Right. That's getting right to the point.
Let me ask you something. Are you surprised they didn't get any prospects back, that it was all picks? Because he kept saying like young assets, but it was really just picks.
I mean,
because you are going to need somebody to play. Like if there was anybody who could maybe hop up and, I don't know, do something. I'm surprised there wasn't one player involved somehow. Because even at a third and a fifth,
but along those lines, I've been thinking about what you said recently about the picks and not the prospects, and the fact that they do want to maybe move some of these and compete next year, which is a scary proposition for me.
It's true, man.
It is a shocking thing to do, but the fact that they didn't bring back any of these picks means A, they do want to sell
in the future.
They do want to sell at the draft maybe and make a move, and B, quite frankly, with their scouting staff, would they know what a good prospect is? Is there a worse scouting department than the Toronto Maple Leafs in my lifetime?
I don't know if I go that far.
Really?
No.
Really? The Toronto Maple Leafs have a good scouting department.
How would you know they trade after prospects away?
Who are the prospects coming in?
Yeah.
Mazzo.
But they traded them all away, too, like their pigs.
Who?
Look at last year alone. If Boston got to-
Verhaeghe and Mason Marchment, I'll give you. Who
those
else are we
two.
talking about?
I don't know,
They don't even have that. They have 2 guys, maybe.
But even if even if they let Boston choose between Minton and Cowan, I think Boston made the right choice.
I would love to know what the Leafs have spent on scouting in the last 20 years.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's a joke what they've done.
But again,
It's a joke.
How often have they had? Yeah, okay.
And I know what I'm saying. Like,
I
you need scouting to draft players too. Like, I understand what I'm saying, but like, I think the Leafs it's such a foreign concept to them to develop a young player. They wouldn't know what to do with it.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
They wouldn't know what to do with it. They don't have anyone at the Marlies to call up. Jacob Quillen, I've seen enough. I know why you were down there that long.
Yeah.
Like, I got it.
No kidding.
I'm not saying don't play him. 100% you play him.
You have to.
But
have to. That's what I mean.
But I get it.
Because you need guys to play. So why? That's why I just was curious if there could have been some prospects, maybe.
Once again, Scorpio in the chat. Seth Jarvis, the pick we traded to get rid of Marleau. Yep. That's a thing that happened.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
And Ryan in the chat. Leafs have new scouting staff, hired head scout from Dallas. They have a good track record. Sure they do.
See, had they had that pick, they would have picked Seth Jarvis.
Sure they do. I got Leaf fans in the chat talking to me how their scouts have good track records. That's where we're at.
I mean,
that's where we're at.
I think it's somewhere in the middle. You're not going to hit on a lot of them.
I disagree.
I don't think they're the worst in the league. I mean, I don't think they're the best either. But yeah, anyway.
Patrick in the chat said they've been scouting in Bulgaria. Relax. Okay. Hopefully they find one.
Maybe that's why Austin went to Germany. He was doing some scouting for them last year while he was out.
You want to get to the Berube clip?
Yeah.
So
I know what you do for the pick.
Oh, this is one of my favorite picks. If you're watching on X or YouTube, this one's for you. I'll go back and describe it for the listening audience. The Dolphins landed Malik Willis.
Oh, really? That makes sense.
Whoa.
I saw that. That makes sense.
3 years, 67 mil?
Holy cow.
What is the guy throwing 5 passes in his career?
Yeah. Wow.
Holy cow.
Because anyways,
back to
tie to Green Bay.
Back to Berube. So Luke Fox again, who was as direct as anyone Friday with Brad Treliving, and he should have been.
Media's getting a bit feisty now.
I'm glad.
Yep.
I'm glad. These guys have been running forever. Pelly refuses to speak to the Leaf media right now. He's running scared.
Go write a letter to him.
He's welcome on this show anytime.
Yeah, for sure.
We haven't had a guest. Keith, would love to have you. But the Berube thing is interesting. Because if Leaf history dictates what's going to happen, there's no way Matthews will allow Berube back. Whenever Matthews is done with a coach, you know it. You are well aware. And the numbers and the body language and like just watching would indicate to you Matthews is done with Craig Berube. So Brad Treliving Friday was asked point blank by Luke Fox of Sportsnet, why is Berube still here? Why is he the guy for you?
Take responsibility for it, and I think Craig's a terrific coach. It hasn't worked, right? So when it doesn't work, we all share a blame, and we all share responsibility in it, right? So it starts with myself, it's the coaches, it's the players. We all are partners in this thing, and when it goes poorly, we all got responsibility for it. But again, to do a summation right now, I think is premature. But like everything else, we'll review at the end of the year.
The picture we decided to throw up of Berube is a hockey card from his time as a Leaf.
The back of his hockey card, not the front. The back of his
the greatest mullet you're ever going to see from Craig Berube. Look, what the problem I'm having with the relationship between Treliving and Berube is like they talk every day.
You would hope, but do they?
No, they do. He admitted it to with Kipper and Bourne. They talk every day. I don't know if they talked last Wednesday in New Jersey.
I was about to say, did they talk in New Jersey?
But they talk most other days.
It was after practice they were going to talk.
They talk most other days. I don't know how you separate one from the other in terms of the job they've done this year. I don't know. But if Treliving keeps the gig, he's going to have to. And there's going to have to be a Brandon Bean, Sean McDermott moment here on a lesser scale, far lesser scale. And I just don't, for the good of the franchise, Berube cannot be behind that bench next season.
Yeah.
Like he can't.
I agree.
This guy at some point they need to hire a coach who is going to develop a young player properly and not just divert towards Kelly Yarncroke and whatever complete retread and non-factor is sitting there available to you. Like I do believe when it comes to young players, you got to play them. You got to see what you have. You do need that. But Berube, I didn't even pull the clip. Berube talking after that 5-2 loss Saturday night.
It's ridiculous.
He believes they're 2 points out of a playoff spot.
What do you want
Is he okay?
But what do you got? Maybe that barbell hit him pretty hard.
What
do you want him to say?
I think you focus on the young players.
Yeah.
Focus on how they're doing. Focus on. I mean, past that, I don't know. I don't know what you say.
Yeah, you can't.
They're screwing him pretty hard by leaving him in there.
Yeah,
they really are.
Nah,
they are though. But for all these
that's
reasons,
why he's earning the money.
Like, what do you say?
No, but
what do you say if you're Craig Berube?
Talk about the players never being in this spot. Half the media has never been in this spot where they're like, "What do we ask now? Like, do we just keep asking about these players on the ice? Who's got a future next year? He might not be here. Yeah, I don't know."
Sean in the Yukon in the chat. Leafs need to get rid of Berube more than the Canucks need to get rid of Pettersson. Oof. Who needs a change of scenery more, Pettersson or Berube?
That's saying a lot.
That's a big question.
Yeah,
that's a big question.
But
hire Matt Sundin as head coach. Ian Ball. I get the sense. Some of this is tongue in cheek. Obviously, I don't think some of it is. I think there are people in this chat on X and YouTube that genuinely want to try anything.
But you know how this team knows they're about to hit dark times? They go hire a former great to be the coach. Because it brings some good vibes when they know the team isn't that good.
Well, here's the problem with that. Ask Montreal how that's going.
Yeah.
Now, different management team up top.
Right.
But Martin St. Louis, I laughed at when they hired him. And now people want to put him in charge for the French Alps Olympics.
But his history wasn't there with the team.
No, but a French Canadian guy who's beloved. It's not far removed from the team.
Right. No, that makes sense. That's true.
I don't want to see Doug Gilmour running.
No,
this.
Exactly. You can't. That's what I'm saying. If it's actually a guy who had his best years here,
not Dougie. Stay in my mind the way you are, Mr. Gilmour. Stay right there. Stay 93. The chin strap at your chest, like that's good. That's Gilmour. I don't want him behind the bench missing the playoffs for 2 straight years. I don't want to do that. But it's a sign of desperation if it does happen.
Right.
It's like bringing back Cito.
Yeah.
What was that about?
Or Gibby.
Well, Gibby worked the second time.
Yeah, kind of.
Gibby worked but Gibby wasn't like beloved the second time.
Yeah,
it was a shock Anthopoulos hire.
Okay. To your point, but here's the thing: why do they have to bring in somebody who develops young guys? Because they got no young guys.
They got no young guys.
Tricks on you.
0 young guys.
One.
We'll get to him in a second.
I know you will.
So Matthews, again, I want to run one. This is the pregame Saturday. Now, keep in mind, Matthews on Saturday night was a ghost, and 11 straight games without a goal, and no one knows where this is going. He doesn't seem overly upset by it, if I'm being honest. I don't see him throwing a hit. I don't see him cheap shotting guys. I don't see him pulling a Tampa Bay Buffalo last night. Like, there was no energy in that game on Saturday night. I don't know how Tampa got ready for that Buffalo thing. Machelli.
Your boy.
Machelli.
I'm just saying, it was funny. Right after that went off the rails. Because they did score first, but it's like it woke Tampa up.
And went off the rails to the point where it was like, Tampa just went through 5 guys. Like, you couldn't blame one guy on some of those goals. Like, they went through all of them. They went through absolutely every guy. It wasn't like some crazy giveaway. It was like, oh,
I want to score. Take it.
It's the Globetrotters.
Yeah.
And you're the Washington Generals.
Yeah.
All right. But like, listen to Guy in the chat does not like my take on Treliving and Berube. Wake up. Oh, he does. Wake up. Sid is correct. Right. Both are staying. You don't allow them to make changes unless they are.
Well, Berube's not making any.
Rogers is not going to pay 2 guys to leave.
1.
They're not.
1.
No, they're going to pay. No, not. Well, Treliving is under contract too. I'm pretty sure.
No, I know. I'm saying, but if you can let one guy go, not.
But what's the point? But here's the point. Why the hell would you just let the one guy go? when the other guy's trading first rounders for fourth liners who can't skate. Honestly. See, that's worse. I'd rather you let no one go than one go. If you let one go, it's all going to hell again. Because it really went to hell when that Shanahan-Dubas knife fight happened,
100%.
and they should have traded Marner.
You're right.
That's when it went to hell.
True.
That was when the entire organization changed.
Yeah.
Oh, it could have.
Yeah, it could have.
Could have got a defenseman for Marner. What do you mean?
No.
Don't
I mean, it didn't all go to hell then, but you're right. That could have changed the direction
it
of
did
things.
because Marner walked for nothing. And that's not what organizations of any type of respectability do.
No, but I could put it back to well, you keep bringing it up too, and I love this point by you. The first time Willie sat out, could have done something there. He didn't.
Oh, they should have.
Right. So
They
I'm not
should
saying
have.
that might have been where it went to
I'd
hell.
have traded his ass to Carolina in a
No,
second.
I'm just saying there were times before
In
where
a second, I'd
where
have done
Dubas could have made the same decision, or Shanahan wouldn't let him. But there are times before that. I think I just don't think it was that time.
No, I'm
but
with
it
you
did
on that.
put him on a bad spot. It did put him in a bad place.
So just hear Matthews. Hear Matthews. The team's a disaster. They're trading away everyone. He can't score. A lot of Canadians were mad at him for a lot of different reasons that I don't need to get into. You know what I'm talking about. And it's like he sounds exactly the same. This is him talking about what was 19 games left to go in the year. Now it's 18. Matthews pregame Saturday.
Taking it one game at a time, making sure that we're ready to compete each night and having fun, sticking together, putting in an effort that we can be proud of when we leave the rink. And I think it's something that we owe to one another. I think we owe to the fans that pay money to come watch us play.
That I agree with.
To go out there and put forth a good effort. So that's all we can ask for. I mean, I don't think we're looking at the standings and just kind of folding over. I mean, it's obviously not ideal, but we just take it one game at a time, and just got to go out there and play and compete and play to win.
He said
one game at a time.
I didn't
Taking
realize
it one game at a time.
Well, no, it's good. That should be a button. I think we have six. We have 6 button options on your board.
Yeah,
We should
8 actually.
We should do right now candidates for 2 buttons, one day at a time from Matthews, and the 3 guys chanting TFC in the back of the room at last week's press conference.
I like that.
Those are my early candidates.
Whenever I need you to change subjects, I just hit the TFC button.
And this
TFC.
and 30 seconds of the sick theme should be the third.
That's true too.
So if we let's work on the
Or
buttons.
Pelly doing the TFC chant wrong.
No. That was pretty funny though.
That's good.
That was pretty funny.
Dude. But what's the assignment right now? Is it not just to lose? Thank God. I think most of their games are on the road left. Like they're not at home too much. But is the assignment not to lose as many as you can?
It is, but I just we should play a game where I run a clip of Austin and you tell me
When
what
it's from.
what era of the Leafs and what time of the year it was.
That'd be amazing.
Because I can't figure it out.
No, you couldn't.
It's the same clip all the time. Steeler in the chat. Holy, enough about the Leafs. They aren't relevant to Toronto sports anymore. A couple more things on the Leafs.
But didn't you learn that from John?
So Ian in the chat. KC, we need a Santander button as well. That's 4 of our 6 buttons.
What's the Santander button?
I don't know.
Nothing?
Just someone saying Santander? Or is it Shulman just saying Santander up? Maybe that's it.
Santander strikes out again.
Oh, you know what the Santander button is? It's John Schneider going, we were really surprised about the surgery. That's the Santander button. Thanks, Brendan. Should be another. Oh, here we go. I've done it. We have all the buttons taken up
We
now.
do.
We need a separate board.
I know.
We'll figure it out.
You got an iPad. Let's use your iPad.
Can we line this up?
I don't know. Okay.
Questions
Talks
to
for
ask
after.
later. That's
Write it down. I'll write it
We'll
down.
write it down. I just can't believe how Matthews continues to kind of talk.
But he was mentored by John Tavares, who did that.
No, that's 100%. That is an excellent as a party.
Talk about developing
point.
a player. How about developing a captain?
Yes. You're right. Yes, the force is strong in that one. Yes, Obi-Wan. Yes, you taught
Again,
Luke well.
Tavares is a guy after every first down loss. I think we're close. We're close. We're gonna get.
What are the classic Tavaresisms again? We got to learn from this, and we got to learn from this and take it forward and continue to prepare and continue to prepare.
I swear.
A couple more things here. The Leafs don't have a lot of young players right now. We all know that are NHL ready. But Easton Cowan playing gives me some hope. I don't know what Easton Cowan's going to be, but he's one of the few.
He'll be in the lineup.
He'll be in the lineup.
Yeah.
Unless Berube decides they can make up 11 points in the standings tomorrow night against Montreal. And he sits them. But I was watching the game Saturday. I was watching Tampa and the Leafs. And Easton Cowan, I believe he turned it over. He didn't make the play to the defenseman as early as he should have. So he goes back to the bench. And he talks it out with the defenseman and his line mates, and they figure it out. Just kidding. They gave him a tablet. Steve Sullivan just hands him a tablet. The tablet Maple Leafs. Again. He's not talking to a single teammate. He's not trying to figure it out. He's not watching the ice. They're doing this again. The tablet.
They traded Scott Laughton. Scott Laughton was the only guy who talked to him on the bench.
Scott Laughton was the only guy who talked, period.
Yeah, it's true.
Do you know how pathetic it is that Scott Laughton was here a year and was
on.
clearly the conscience of the team?
You're bang on.
This
and he
team's
couldn't get more
weak,
than 10
man.
minutes.
This is a weak group of hockey players. They're afraid to talk to each other. Laughton's the only guy. Stolarz did, and you got hell for it. I still back Stolarz on that rant. The second that kid got back, show it again. The second Easton Cowan got back, tablet.
My favorite is the guy in the back on his phone, not even watching the game. Top right. The guy just clearly on his phone.
And
in a Nylander jersey, I believe.
Derek Lalonde is standing there thinking, why can't they just make me interim head coach?
I'll work with these guys.
Berube doesn't have to be here.
I think we could play even boringer.
I can be interim head coach and be on Hockey Night's panel in the first round. No problems.
Double dip.
For that Detroit series. I know a lot about Detroit. They handed him
the Lightning.
The tablet Maple Leafs. Unbelievable. Bruffy in the chat, pardon me. The coaches treat these players like iPad kids. If they're upset, give them Candy Crush.
Something they could win at.
That's funny. The other thing I noticed, and
that's a tough call.
Well, I ever have two thumbnails come up when you're on YouTube or somewhere.
It's amazing.
In working for Sick Media, I realized the power of the thumbnail now.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw this on YouTube below a video I was watching, and it made me laugh out loud. This was the thumbnail combination. For the listening audience, there's a picture of Oliver Ekman-Larsson looking ashen-faced, white as a ghost, speaking to the Toronto media. And next to him is Nazem Kadri with a smile so wide you thought it was Christmas morning.
Seriously.
On his return to the Colorado Avalanche.
Wow.
I thought the difference between these two photos was amazing. Now, before the chat goes crazy, I know OEL didn't want to leave Toronto, but there's a lot of reasons he didn't want to leave Toronto. His wife is due. Like, don't tell me he loved the direction of the organization.
No. How could you?
I couldn't. The difference between these two thumbnails I found amazing.
That's the guy who's had the best season on the Leafs team right there.
Best season on the Leafs is Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And Nazem Kadri had the Flames pay money to send him to the best team in the National Hockey League.
Amazing.
Can't lose. Nazem Kadri cannot lose right now. He wants to win that Conn Smythe. He maybe should have won in 2022.
But that's funny to me.
Go get it, Naz.
That might be the Leafs MVP of the year right there. And look how happy he is.
Look at that. Look how elated Oliver Ekman-Larsson is. And I like Oliver Ekman-Larsson a lot.
Ton, of course.
This is not a rip in any way.
No.
I just found these two images shocking next to each other. Shocking.
I feel bad for him, man. He's played his heart out.
Life goes on when you leave the Toronto Maple Leafs, man. Life goes on.
Could say that about a few players.
For sure. Any last Leaf notes? Because I want to talk about the trade deadline generally with you.
Do you want to talk any more about what they're going forward and maybe some other rumors that are out there with the Prez?
You know what? Let's do that. And then we'll talk about the deadline as a whole. So the Leafs do not technically have a president of hockey ops right now. Let's be honest, that's Keith Pelly. He fired Shanahan, didn't replace Shanahan.
Do you think it could be used as a chip to bring somebody in? Like they get the presidency and the GM or whatever?
I have no idea.
Right.
I think the chip is you're going to get paid a lot of money if you have that role.
That's fair.
If I'm Keith Pelly and I'm looking at the situation, I think the smart thing is to hire a president for the Toronto Maple Leafs because you need to remove yourself from this. Because right now Pelly is more in the firing line than I think he'd want. He's not a hockey guy. He is not a hockey guy. He has not played in that league. He hasn't done an ounce of management in that league. past the TV contracts. He is not the guy who's going to survive a lot of that heat. And over the weekend, a name came up twice, not once, but twice, that Leaf fans have noticed.
Willie Coyle heard it.
Yeah. You guys know where I'm going with this. So Steve Simmons, in his Sunday Toronto Sun column, first he talked about how Matthews' game is cratered under Berube. That's the first thing. Second thing he said was this. If I were in charge of the Leafs, I'd be bringing in a team president to head up hockey ops. My first phone call would be to Chris Pronger, the Hall of Fame defenseman who led 3 different NHL teams to Stanley Cup finals, and he won a championship. Pronger is wired differently than almost anyone I've come across in the game. So Chris Pronger, I don't know who's running his social media, but they're pretty active with it. They're pretty good.
He's have you heard him on shows as a guest?
He's excellent.
Great. He's awesome.
Chris Pronger on TV is fantastic.
Yes.
So Chris Pronger, whoever's monitoring his socials yesterday, because I believe what's the Amazon game tonight? It's the Sens and Canucks. I think it's 9:00. So. A scintillating matchup if there ever was one. But Pronger's flying out to Vancouver for the Canucks and the Sens on Amazon for Monday Night Hockey. So Pronger's account tweets out, on a plane headed north, see you soon, Vancouver, hit me with some questions. Mark Spector of Sportsnet.ca then replies with this, just read Simmons tout you for the Leafs president job. Could you handle the pay cut? To which Pronger's account puts a gif of John Cena with his eyes wide like this. And a lot of people have brought up his name in the last 24 hours because his name is being brought up. So let's look at this. Chris Pronger, again, Chris Pronger shockingly has 1 Norris Trophy in his career, just 1. Feels like it should be more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Gold medalist, Hart Trophy winner, Stanley Cup champion, one of the greatest defensemen to ever live, Chris
Without
Pronger.
a doubt.
I at first was going to push back on the notion that Chris Pronger, with very little executive experience, should be given the Toronto Maple Leaf job. And then I remembered that Brendan Shanahan had a little bit of league experience before he got the job. He got political. How did that end? Brad Treliving's an experienced guy. He traded a first rounder and a prospect for a 4th liner last year at this time. Brad Treliving has experience. Craig Berube has won a cup. He has experience. He hasn't budged at all. Why the hell not Chris Pronger in any role for the organization? Because all the experienced people I see are choking on it.
Mm-hmm.
In front of the hockey world in a serious way over and over and over again. Maybe it's time for the Martin St. Louis of the Leafs. Maybe it's time for Chris Pronger to come in. Maybe it's time for someone who's maybe never done this before to tell the organization and Ed and Tony, get out of my way. I'm not scared of anyone. Get out of my way. Let me build this the way I would like to build it. No more no-hitters on a Saturday night in Toronto. No more 0 shoving matches. Nothing. I didn't like the idea when I first heard it. And when I thought about it for 4 seconds, I'm like, Chris Pronger, I'm in. Because experience in this town gives you an ego and then you fail. And it started with everyone, although Burke, everybody. Everyone's ego gets in the way and you don't do the right things in this city. Someone needs to not be afraid to tell the bosses, you have no idea what you're talking about. Chris Pronger is completely wired that way. Completely wired that way.
Totally.
If you've seen him on Hockey Night and Amazon for 2 seconds or TNT, you know he marches to his own drummer, man. Why? Because he's one of the greats of all time. He's forgotten more about hockey than Pele will ever know. So why not Chris Pronger? Or some reasonable facsimile? I think this town needs a hard dose of hasn't done it before and isn't scared. And Dubas doesn't count because Shanahan was making the calls the entire time. As much as I don't like what Dubas did, it wasn't all Dubas. Shanahan was over his shoulder on everything. Everything.
Letting Lou go might have been the big mistake there. Because Lou would have told them what to do.
But Lou could have screwed this up too, although Lou would have traded Willie.
Yeah, agreed.
Lou would have traded Willie.
Agreed. Lou would
that I know.
That's the one part I agree with you because it was my first thought on Prongers. He's going to tell them how it is. Because I don't know if it's their ego that gets in the way when you say that about some of the guys who come in. I think they just fall in like that organizational line. You know what I mean? Like the Leafs do it a certain way, or this is the mandate.
That's the problem.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying.
You need
and I don't
someone.
think Pronger would do that.
You need someone who will go into a corporate environment with all the backing in the world and not be scared of them.
100%.
That's Pronger. Pelly plays the game. Shanahan plays the game. That's what they do best. It's how they made their bones. I respect it.
Pronger would
I
say,
respect
this is
it.
why you brought me in to tell you this.
Pronger is grassroots. I don't give a you know what.
Yep. You brought me in. I'm going to tell you how I is.
My resume destroys everyone's resume. So let me do my job. And hopefully it doesn't turn into a buddy hiring session, because then you're screwed. Then you're screwed.
I don't think it would.
Martin St. Louis has changed my thought process on this.
It's fair.
He was not in any way experienced enough to take on that job. But a crazy thing happened. He knows hockey. And he knows what it's like to be an underdog, and he knows what it's like to be coached up, and he knows what it's like to not get discouraged. If you bring Pronger into this environment, or someone like that, doesn't have to be Chris, but a very self-assured, non-political, I want to say that again, non-politically driven former NHLer,
Yep.
who's not afraid to piss people off, then the Leafs are going somewhere. It's been one political appointment after another down at Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment for basically 20 years. Someone has to go in there and turn over some tables with experience. We're doing this, and this is why we're doing it. And I might not be right about everything, but if I'm wrong about a couple things, I'll let you know. But I feel like I'll be right more than I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And somebody the players will respect, but who will tell them like it is, who won't baby them. Because half these guys gotten babied for most of their career.
Michael in the chat, I agree. Pronger will issue Sherwood sticks to the whole roster. I hope so. I hope so.
Leon, Sid has a fever, and the only prescription is some Chris Pronger. Let's go.
But it's not even like it's not even Pronger specifically. And I'm a fan. His TV stuff is great. I love Chris's TV stuff
because he tells it like it is.
He does. Because he did this thing that's weird. He played.
Yeah, and won.
And he should have more than one Norris. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
That's kind of nuts at Chris Pronger.
I guess at every level. Like
he also played with Lidstrom. Like, it was a tough time. It was a tough time to win Norris trophies. But the problem, and some people in the chat are saying this, I don't know how it doesn't get political with Pelly and the mold. It's a valid point. But you have to have autonomy. You have to have autonomy. And I feel like it's time for a lone wolf with experience to go in there. Martin St. Louis was that. Lone wolf with experience. Ken Hughes, agent. He's an agent. What experience did he have? Jeff Gorton, different story. Built a pretty good team in New York, they're finding out. But Ken Hughes, no experience. Martin St. Louis, no experience. Then what? As a coach, no experience. I am leaning towards something like this if they make the changes. Again, I'm not convinced Berube's gone. I'm not convinced Treliving's gone, because the Maple Leafs never do the right thing when they need to make it. Ever. That's not their MO. But I am here for this. And from what I'm seeing in this chat right now on X and YouTube, some of you are here for it as well. And it's time. Not now for the final 18 games. Let Berube flush the toilet on this as only he can. I think it's the best thing for the organization. Once it's done, time for some fresh eyes, and preferably eyes that aren't always scared about their job and occasionally do the right thing. That's what the Leafs have missed. People have been in this city, and winning has not been the priority. Keeping their gig has been the priority. And it has killed them. It has absolutely killed them. That needs to change. It's easier said than done. This is a tough market. I get it. But it's also ready to hand the keys to the Ferrari to anyone who's willing to get this right. I can say that for any Canadian market, but especially here in Toronto. You can't be afraid to fail. You can't. I left sports for morning television. I don't think I failed. I got sent packing, but I wouldn't consider that a failure. We had some good times. You can't be afraid to fail, or you will never get anything accomplished. Maybe the Leafs go down that road.
Pretty sure you did take them to the #1 morning show too, but I'm just... Because you're a buddy of mine. Yeah.
That's I appreciate. I appreciate it.
I can be nice to you too. Okay, I want to raise.
Okay. Well, sorry. Your mic cut out there for a second.
But yeah, they got to do something different. Haven't we been down this road how many times?
There are
things?
Teams in your division thinking way outside the box. It's time.
Well, Dubas was supposed to be that guy, and then, like you said, Brendan handcuffed him.
He was running everything.
Yeah.
As much as I hate to admit that, because bashing on Dubas at times is something I've thoroughly enjoyed doing. And Shanahan, we're learning as the years go on, was like.
Well, you know what's even more frustrating? It seems like Dubas has learned from his mistakes, what he's doing in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, but they're not a juggernaut yet. Let's hold the phone on Pittsburgh.
Again, you want to go over what their assets are for the next 3 years?
I mean, with all due respect, great for their assets. He has a very hard Sidney Crosby decision coming.
Yeah.
And we'll see what he does with that before we crown Dubas the king of anything.
He was skating, wasn't he, Sid?
Yeah, he's going to come back.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
It's going to be Islanders Pittsburgh round 1. That'll be a fun first round series, man.
Definitely.
I'm in.
I'm definitely in. I kind of want Stuart Skinner to win.
People hate the first round of the playoffs in the format. I still kind of like it.
It's always the best round.
Because the ratings, people need to understand the ratings in the National Hockey League in the States, they go down the longer it goes. So Bettman and the owners feel they need their best stuff early because the NBA will take over.
That's a great point. Yep.
And that's why you want Tampa and Florida, and that's why you want Dallas against Colorado, and that's like it's counterintuitive to all of us in terms of how we think of a playoff. But business-wise in the States, it works for the National Hockey League. It really does.
Totally.
We don't like it, but it is what it is. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah. We're at an hour and a half already.
Oh, shoot. Are we?
Yeah, pretty much. An hour 25.
This is interesting. Larry in the chat. Sid, you touch your mic too much. Easy, big fella.
You should see him before the show.
Dude, kidding me? I have some very obvious
That's
safety.
How you know he's being serious.
I have some safety. I have some crutches that are obvious.
No,
we all do.
You're
on
about
air.
to rile up when you get your mic and you start moving it because you're about to get going.
And another thing. Slosh wants us to talk WBC. We'll get to that in a sec.
Oh, I can't wait.
We'll get to the Anthony Santander story for sure. One last thing here, Patrick. Sid, if the Leafs picked up Wilson, Bennett, and Marchand, the whole dynamic would change. That's a nice thought. I don't know if I believe it.
I saw somebody else bring up Tampa and how they're able to do it year after year. But these guys don't have guys like Kucherov. Did you see him on Saturday? It's unbelievable.
Kucherov
or Point.
Kucherov
or
is
like they don't have any of these guys. They don't have Point. They don't have Hagel. They don't have Hedman.
Do you know
like,
if the Leafs would have drafted Victor Hedman
or Vasilevsky?
Victor Hedman would be the greatest player in franchise history.
100%.
Franchise, like not even close.
Not even
it's
close.
Not the Leafs' best player of all time is so not what other teams' best player of all time. It's crazy how poorly they've drafted. It's crazy. MST in the chat. Pronger knows better than to come here. I don't know, man. I don't know. If you can set up a scenario where you're not scared, if you can set up a scenario where you clearly are running things. Now, Pelly's here. Pelly's the president, and that's how that chain goes. Like, it's not going to be easy. That's how the corporate ladder works there. I get it. But Pronger, the thought of Pronger, some people at MLSC need to kind of see what I'm seeing here in this chat. These are your clientele, for the most part, who are not dumping on this idea. And it's not just necessarily a Pronger thing. It's a strategy thing.
Yep.
I think. And keep in mind, the Montreal Canadiens have hired a lot of people recently with not a ton of experience in their current gigs. It's going well. Should they have brought a person in Friday? Probably. Made a trade? Probably. Topic for another day. It's time to kind of think of this a little differently.
No, we'll see where they go with it, right? Because it's either maybe you offer Doug Armstrong both, like I suggested, or you need someone like Pronger to come in.
Maybe.
And again, Pronger has a great life, but you're right. You know what? The ego comes in with people because they want to be the person that turns this around. And most of the time, like you said, then they get lost in it. I don't know if it's a franchise or an organizational thing, but they get lost in it. But the ego of, I want to be the one to turn this around at that historic franchise, I think that draws people in to try and be that person.
And the whole goal of being like running the Leafs is like, I put my fingerprints on this.
Yeah.
Treliving, prior to last Thursday, had made no trades between July and that day. Like that's not even fun.
No. Again,
that's not even fun to do. Like, what are you doing?
But
like
when you come in and have 1 week to make a decision on your top trade asset, like, kind of screws you.
Someone in the chat, who killed Biggie? That's a big time question for this podcast to answer.
Yeah.
I think I know. We'll talk about it off air.
I think it's pretty obvious.
I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I agree.
Michael, Pronger statue outside Scotiabank if Leafs win the cup. This Pronger thing, I think, is just a today thing, but I love that it's running.
It's cool.
I love that it's running.
It's awesome.
Simmons with a really good suggestion there. But could you not see Chris Pronger going, yeah, I'll try it. Yeah, for sure. I'll try it.
Dude, again,
I could just see him say, yeah, I'll try it.
When he jumps on any of the shows like Overdrive or Kipper and Bourne, like I'm intrigued by him. Like
where this is coming.
You have to listen to.
You know where this is coming from. His Overdrive comments like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yep. You're right. Bang on.
That's where this is coming from.
You nailed it.
Because I know Simmons watches that show constantly, like a lot of people do, and
they were good.
But for some reason, like his idea, again, it comes from a guy like a hockey Hall of Famer.
And didn't he like text them the next day, being like, "You're welcome" or something? Like that's what.
Well, it went viral. It went viral.
Yeah,
if you ask someone to come on your show and it goes viral, guess what? It's going to go viral.
And I think Jeff O'Neill said then you just texted him the next day and said, "You're welcome."
I don't know. I don't demand apologies for people saying stuff on a show that I booked them on.
I'm sorry. I think
there's
it is.
There's a lot of people in this business that will go on shows and want the FaceTime. We don't want to say anything. I applaud guys like Pronger who will say something.
No, to me, that just is what it is. I told you. I just said it like I did.
I love how this is a thing today.
I love it.
I really do. Oh my
I'm glad we brought it up.
All right, it's 1:30.
Yep. Okay, move on. Go.
Final thoughts on the deadline. It wasn't busy. Azo and I did 3 hours and 15 minutes of content with Not Busy. Just two of us in the room with you in the chat. And we thank you for being with us Friday.
It was still fun.
It's still fun. It's not the end of the world. I mean, this isn't my first day. We can do this.
Right.
If you have any level of experience, it's really not that difficult, but
I have
whatever.
No experience and I'm doing it.
But there are people saying, like, in terms of the slow deadline, is this going to be, was this a blip? Or with playoff rosters now having to be cap compliant and with no double retention past a certain date in the calendar, I think it's like December or something. Like, is this going to be now what the deadline is where it's pretty slow?
Yeah.
I'm reserving my judgment on whether the deadline is going to be slow all the time till next year. But let me say this. In terms of the two TV networks in this country, Sportsnet and TSN, and the work that goes into it, a ton of work goes into that. If this becomes the norm on NHL trade deadline day, you guys cannot go up before noon. That's a waste of time for your resources. Like, it really is. Like, I'm not saying anyone did a poor job. That's a tough show to produce, both sides.
Definitely.
But like, you can't, if this is trade deadline from now on, it is what it is. And why people are going up at 8 and 10 o'clock in the morning in Canada
It's insane.
is crazy. Because as I heard the argument, well, the league needs to do something because trade deadline in Canada is a big deal. Do you know who cares less than anyone about Canadian hockey television? Gary Bettman.
The league. Yeah.
The league.
Mm-hmm.
Gary Bettman didn't visit the Sportsnet studios until like 5 years into that contract. He doesn't care. They just cut the check. You think they care about trade deadline at Sportsnet and TSN having content? That's the last priority he has. The last one. So it's going to be down to the Canadian networks if they want to continue with this. I would highly suggest noon to 3.
I agree.
Save your best bullets for noon to 3. Although what I saw from TSN, they could produce a 13-hour show and have it be entertaining.
It is.
That was a pretty good show.
It is.
But like, just don't do that to yourselves because there's no point.
Right.
There's
we've
no
seen
point.
that in the past too, because in the last few years, you've gotten the big trades leading up to the deadline and not on the deadline day, unless it's past 3 o'clock, like Marchand last year. But most of the big deals happen leading up to that day. And then the other thing is you got games at night. So half the time you can't even get players on or anything because the guys are playing.
But what's the end of the world if there's a couple trades the Thursday night before the deadline, and then you're up at noon, and guess what? You have a solid first hour of content, looking back and just updating.
Of course. No, I'm with you.
That's all you need.
I've always thought that. I've always thought they go a bit too
That's
much.
all you need. Like, these guys, like there's some really good insiders that are going to get ridden into the ground here if you're not careful.
No, it's true.
And some stations need the one insider more than others. You don't want to completely fatigue one person, if you know what I mean.
It's true.
So I just think the discussion around the trade deadline is the one about the league caring about Canadian television is fascinating. That's the last thing they care about. They do not care about content for Canadian trade deadline shows. Like, don't begin to kid yourself. So we'll see. I don't know if this is going to be a common theme. I want to see how next year goes. I'm not willing to say that's how the trade deadline
just as many
go.
no movement clause. Still can't double retain. I think it will be. That had to play into a little bit of how slow it is. The other thing I think too is the Leafs aren't the only team who are in this like portion for the first time in their in the recent past. Like, there's a lot of teams. This is like a changing of the guard year Where some of the teams who were sellers or buyers before, like they flipped.
Yeah, they flipped a little bit.
Right?
Yeah.
Like Tampa's the only constant, and maybe Carolina. But after that, it's all new
But
teams.
Florida wasn't even that crazy, though. Like Florida, I thought Bobrovsky was gone.
No.
But they didn't trade. Florida didn't make any.
But they're
crazy
also
moves.
young teams like Buffalo, Montreal, the Islanders.
Buffalo tried, yeah. Buffalo
Right?
tried.
Like, I don't know. I think it's just a changing and seeing what you have to give up. And a lot of them I've already traded.
But the
draft
game
picks.
has changed if you can't cheat the system
Right.
In the playoffs, which is what that was. Going above the cap in the playoffs was
Or
cheating. the
taking
system.
on dead money and
It
how
was.
much it holds you back.
True. MST in the chat. Yeah, Bettman does not give a rat's ass about Canada. I think he cares about the markets, like in terms of the teams themselves. I don't think he's overly preoccupied with Canadian television, if I'm being honest about it. All right. So we're going to crown the Buffalo Sabres as Eastern Conference champions already? Is that what we're going to do?
No.
Well, people are doing it. So you are not, just so we're clear, Jeff Azzopardi is not crowning the Buffalo Sabres, who right now are first in the Atlantic Division.
2
as
points behind
future.
the Hurricanes.
Yes.
Who
The
are
Hurricanes, a
Buffalo.
team no one in this country watches
Right.
at all except for Seth Jarvis's buddies.
And who you expect to fold in the
Correct.
in the playoffs.
The Sabres, so I got to give Tampa a lot of credit for playing that practice session against the Leafs on Saturday and walking into the Roman Coliseum yesterday in Buffalo and going through whatever that was, losing 8-7, 27 total penalties. A game in the league hasn't seen that combination since February of 1994 in a game. That game was nuts. It got nuts when Tage Thompson kind of got hit early and then the fighting. I understand why Florida wants to kill Brandon Hagel every time they see him.
Yeah.
That guy's a gnat. And he choked for Canada in the Olympics, by the way. Thanks for showing. Thanks for coming out, Brendan. Really appreciate it.
Oh, boy.
Choked. But I understand why Florida wants to put him in the 6th row every time they see him. That guy, someone has to deal with that guy. But I gotta give the Sabres a lot of credit. Not just winning the game, but yesterday was so funny because the Florida teams have been trying to do this to the Leafs for years. They're poking them. And they're trying to get a reaction to the Leafs. The Leafs have no interest. Nylander, Matthews, Tavares,
Because they're not built like that. Or for
Nyes,
that. Yeah.
Riley, they have no interest in retaliating.
Because they can't.
Because they can't, but they also won't.
Yeah.
The second Tampa or Florida see another team coming up, they do the same thing. And Buffalo, to their credit, did not wilt yesterday. They said to Tampa, okay, you want to test us? Let's go. Might see you in round 2. Let's go. And part of me likes the Tampa attitude, and I love the Sabres attitude.
Hell yeah.
The Leafs have been walking away / running away from that instigation for 10 years.
Oh, when I say they can, it's
10
not
years.
in their DNA, right?
And it's not in their DNA. The Buffalo Sabres, out of relatively nowhere, now have it in their DNA.
Oh.
Dude,
that
Rasmus
might have
Dahlin has it in
That
his
might have
DNA.
started a rivalry last night. Like, it was amazing. And
It did.
2 periods of 7 goals. Like,
Crazy.
that's crazy. That's amazing.
Crazy. What were the secondary market ticket prices for that hockey game yesterday?
It would have been
You could have gotten
awesome
into that game for like $10.
Would have been amazing.
Honestly, Buffalo Tampa yesterday afternoon would have been $10.
And if they do meet each other in the playoffs, let's go.
I love how the Florida teams have always done it. They want to poke you in the chest and say, "What do you got?" And the Leafs have ran from it forever. And Florida knew in game 1 of that series last year that they were winning.
Yeah.
I don't care if the Leafs won the first 2 games. They knew they were winning.
Agreed.
Why?
Well,
Because someone hit Stolars and no one did anything about it.
and what was the score in game 3 before they caved?
Were they up 2-0 or 3-1? I think it was
3-1.
3-1.
I think it was 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah.
So
I do like that about Buffalo. Like, they have no fear. Like, they're feeling themselves right now, and they're pushing back.
I love how they push back Buffalo.
Yeah.
Love it. This is still Kevin Adams' team.
Yeah. Oh, nothing's changed. That's why I'm with you on not truly believing, because this is the same team as last
Because
year.
Logan Stanley was not in the lineup yesterday from Winnipeg. Luke Shen, I don't know how many miles he has left on him. He was not in the lineup. That is still a Kevin Adams team playing last night
100%.
with Lindy Ruff, who looked like the game had passed him by 5 seasons ago.
Unbelievable.
So I still want to give Kevin Adams all the love in the world for this.
He deserves it.
Let me see what they look like when Jarmo Kekalainen gets his guys in there, which has not happened yet. It has not happened yet. So all the Sabre fans who are talking a big game, Matt in the chat, Sabres Lightning going to be a killer playoff series. I agree. If they get there. I don't think Detroit are beating either one of Tampa or Buffalo in the first round right now. We'll see. We'll see when we get there. But I would like to see Jarmo put his fingerprints a little bit on it, which he's done.
He tried.
Oh, he tried in a big way.
Yeah, huge. That's what I'm saying.
My thought process, but Jarmo cannot. My argument today is Jarmo Kekalainen prior to that deadline could not just do nothing because he would get no credit.
It's true.
He would get absolutely no credit for that. And somewhere Kevin Adams is at Coco Bongos having a drink down south and enjoying this run to potentially an Eastern Conference final appearance on a team that I built. Jarmo Kekalainen cannot go into that postseason allowing this discussion and discourse to take hold. Can't do it. So that's what this is. He has to bring in new players.
Might get Kevin Adams the Leafs job. Who knows?
Kevin Adams, the Leafs.
Or it might get him another job, period.
It might.
Like, seriously.
New battery up top in Toronto. Chris Pronger, Kevin Adams.
Let's go.
How about that?
Let's go.
I just know there's a lot of Sabres love here. Tony Marinero in the chat. Oh, Jesus Christ. Sid, Sabres are a legit beast. How dare you, Tony? How dare you? They haven't proven anything. Nothing.
Wait.
The Habs have proven more than the Sabres.
I agree. That's what I was about to ask Tony.
100%.
That's exactly what I was going to
disagree with Tony Marinero.
By the way, did you hear Ken Hughes said they almost had something? That had to be Kadri, right?
Oh, I don't like. Thank you for bringing that up. So for those who missed it, so Montreal is one of the teams we're all sitting here Friday watching going, what's going on? Kelka shows. And they don't pick up anyone. And I'm thinking, okay, that's interesting. So Ken Hughes has a press conference, and I'm paraphrasing.
He dropped that nugget.
He dropped, out of nowhere, he dropped, we were working on something big. We'll see if we can revisit it or something along those lines.
In
the offseason?
Yeah.
That's the thing you say when you're getting destroyed.
Woo! Yeah.
When you are getting destroyed by your own market is when you put that out there in the hopes that it deflects. It's Legend of Zelda with a big shield, and you are just deflecting all you can. And I was surprised Ken Hughes said that because I don't think he needed to say anything. He's built a pretty good outfit there. He didn't have to say much.
Me too. By the way,
but I am not convinced the Sabres are for real. They're not for real. They've had a good run. It's Kevin Adams' team. They've been failing for 15 years. And I'm going to make this my mission. Don't suck me into this Sabres garbage because they haven't done anything yet. And I know where I live, and it's hilarious me saying that. But the Sabres need to show me something before I join the flock or the herd. Sorry,
the herd.
It's a herd
Come
of
on.
bison.
Hey, you want to watch playoff hockey? Go down to Buffalo this year.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Tony's starting this Toronto-Montreal thing early. I know they play tomorrow, but oh man.
Tony again in the chat. The only thing the Sabres don't have is your headphones.
Be so mad.
Why you got to be mad at the headphones?
I know.
Why you got to be mad? Sick paid for them.
It's true.
Don't get Sammy in an
Not from the Dollarama.
Chat.
Not from the Dollarama.
By the way, again, Tony just did a 2-hour show in French. He's doing another show later tonight.
Well,
he's pretty busy.
Yeah.
So we appreciate Tony chiming in.
Of course, without a doubt.
Like, there's royalty in this chat here, guys. I don't know if you realize that. I know you do. So respect Tony Marinero in the chat. Rayner in the chat. Sabres goaltender is weak. Thank you.
Good defensive.
No pedigree with the goaltending.
Their defensive core is pretty good.
Let in 7 goals yesterday. No one's talking about it. They're the Oilers. Nope. Great game. Great game. They're the Oilers. They let in 7 goals to a tired Tampa team.
All right.
The whole team was at the Olympics or hurt during.
Okay, let's go.
We got a lot of stuff here.
Well, WBC time, people are saying.
WBC. Okay. Okay. You want to throw one more up?
No,
let's go.
WBC
WBC time. World Baseball Classic was on last night. It's
been on for a few days. What do you mean last night?
I'm just saying. It's okay. You just jump all over me, Gene. Take one picture over the weekend. You're all over. Canada, we're in San Juan at Ahidam Bithorn Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And
easy for you to say.
I remember that because once upon a time, Carlos Delgado went down there in the Jays for a preseason exhibition tour.
I remember.
And it was quite the scene.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy.
Better than on the weekend.
So Canada took on Canada were like heavy favorites against Panama last night. Were they not at the World Baseball Classic?
Yes.
So they lose. They give up 3 runs in the 6th inning. And the games they got coming up, like Cuba and Puerto Rico, they take on the host Puerto Rico tomorrow night. It's not going to be easy Canada's 1-1. This is the 6th World Baseball Classic. Canada's never advanced with Ernie Witt running the team past the group stage. It's not easy to get through the group stage in this
The
tournament,
only
to be fair.
manager who's been in part of all of them, every
Okay.
WBC.
Thank you. Now, there's parts of this team that are very easy to fall in love with. The Naylor brothers are just nails.
Amazing.
Josh and Bo, love them both. Otto Lopez at short. Shout out the Miami Marlins.
Yeah.
Owen Cassie in left or right, wherever he's playing.
Went yard.
Went yard. Oh, he hung the bleep out of that.
Yeah.
What a quote from Owen
What a
Casey.
quote.
Love that kid.
So good.
Love that kid. So Canada, they win their first game, I believe it was Colombia on Saturday afternoon.
Yep.
But they lose to Panama last night in a game they were winning. There was a couple rain delays in there, which makes it a little hairy. But this is the first time. If they don't make it through the group stage, I'm going to be a little upset.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
But again, that's a tough game they got against Puerto Rico tomorrow, the host nation.
They play the two best teams in their
And
group now.
Cuba is like the afternoon after.
Yeah.
I'm just
Their
saying.
first back-to-back.
My only point. You're right. It's first back-to-back for Canada. If Canada don't make it into the quarterfinals of the World Baseball Classic, which may now happen, and they had that game last night.
They did.
They really did.
Inning. Yep.
Oh
man.
If
Paxton.
If Canada, that was a bad mistake.
Yeah.
But Paxton didn't throw 50 pitches, so I think he only needs a one-day rest now. If Canada don't make it out of this, there is no way you can ask Ernie Witt to do this a 7th time, right?
Agreed.
And I love Ernie Witt and what he's done for Baseball Canada, and I know not everyone's lining up for the gig, but is Russell Martin not a first base coach on this team?
Correct.
Is Justin Morneau not in the dugout helping
involved,
out?
Yeah.
They're all involved.
Mhm.
So everyone's giving time for this. I just believe Ernie Witt, I want to thank you for all your contributions. Tournament's not over for him.
Nope.
They could get through. But if it doesn't happen, Ernie, I love you. I love Ernie Witt as a J. I love Ernie Witt
Thank you.
as a manager of the World Baseball Classic Canada entry for 5 years, and all the work he's done at the Pan Am Games for Baseball Canada. It's time to let someone else take the reins if this doesn't work out. Is that an unfair comment, Azzo, or do you think that's a fair comment?
Going into it, I thought he might be an advantage for him, knowing how to use the pitchers and how maybe you can give up a game if you're ahead, and how you use your pitchers. I thought maybe he had a good feel on it. No, that was tough yesterday.
It was tough. It was
and
tough.
I agree. I think it's just time to move on. Things run their course. He's great. You got some good young players. This is the best Canada team I've ever seen.
Owen Casey's going to be around, man.
And they're missing, to be fair, they are missing 3 of their best pitchers.
Yeah, every team you can say.
No, but that's why I thought maybe with his experience, he
Right.
could finagle the pitchers and know when to pull them and what to do in the games you can kind of give away to still get out of it. And yeah, they win these 2 games, they'll be in.
I'm feeling a lot of people in the chat have a ton of respect for Ernie Witt, but they kind of don't disagree with what I'm saying.
Of course.
Slosh says, "God bless him."
And thank you.
A lot of people thanking Ernie Witt, and but Larry Walker's another name that's being thrown out there. Eric Gagne, interesting.
There's some good ones there.
Interesting career from Gagne. Eh?
Yeah.
Rather interesting.
Very,
career.
very.
Yeah, that's that. I don't know if I'd go Gagne. And Sean in the chat, Freddie Freeman's not there. That's another one they're missing, obviously.
Mhm.
So, again, big game for Canada tomorrow night in San Juan, Puerto Rico against
2 big games.
Puerto Rico.
I think they got to win them both, but they can move on still.
I'm seeing the Dominican Republic up 6-1 on Israel right now. No Vladdy in the lineup for Dominica
But he was on the weekend.
today. Vladdy hit a home run yesterday. Can we talk about, before we dive into the Jays, we kind of dovetail into the Jays. Did you see the moment with Juan Soto and Vladdy at the press conference everyone's talking about?
Yeah.
So there's a press conference. Dominican Republic win their first game, and at the dais, when Soto and Vladdy Jr. are about to sit down, there are some green tea bottles there. Just a company that makes green tea. Apparently, Otani is a sponsor or like a pitch person for these bottles. Vladdy, the first thing he does when he gets to the table is he takes them off. And Soto, I think, did the same thing.
Yeah.
If you don't think the Dominican Republic want a piece of Japan or the States right now, you are kidding yourself. Go online and see the party that is erupting in Miami.
It's amazing.
With the Dominican. I'm telling you, if Canada gets bounced, I am Team Dominican Republic.
How could you not be?
It is a party going on there, man. This team, they've won one of these tournaments
But
before. They live and die with the game. It would be and I just want to see Vladdy kind of finish a job in a tournament. I think it would do the Jays a lot of good, actually. If Vladdy can wrap this up too. It's going to be tough. Japan's really good. States are really good. I get it. But if Canada gets bounced, I am pledging my allegiance in the World Baseball Classic to the Dominican Republic. Azzo, will you be doing the same thing?
Exactly the same.
Okay.
And you can hear from these guys. You see it in the way they play, how much it means to them. This is for some pride here, man. This means everything to these guys. And they've played for their country since they were 16, 17. And yeah, you just know it. And I know they won what? The second one, the Dominican, I think? The second WBC?
I think it was the second one, Dominican one.
Right?
Yeah.
Like Japan's won what? Three?
Three.
The States have won 2. They've only won
Correct.
1. They want to put a
Correct.
stamp on it. I saw them ask Soto about this team and compared to the last 2 he's been on. He's like, the other 2 were good, but this is the best team we've had. What about the jacket? Do we have to talk about the jacket?
Dude, do you have a picture of the jacket?
I do.
Leave this up.
Hold on. I have this one with Soto with it on.
Dude, the coolest home run jacket ever made is the white and the red and the blue from the
Look at
Dominican
that.
Republic right now.
Look at that.
This thing, I almost want this. If you're a Jays, any Jays fan who shows up to Rogers Center wearing this deserves free seats for the rest of the season.
I agree.
This thing is outstanding.
And
It is
who do you think brought that?
Vladdy.
Yeah, of
Good for
course.
him.
He has to. He
Good
had
for
to.
you,
Come
Vladdy.
on.
Good
Why
for
would
you.
you thief it?
Love it. This jacket, we almost should put this up on the Sid Seixeiro Show socials.
Okay.
That jacket is, but show the shot of him wearing it. I think it's a better
Oh, no,
look.
that's it. That's
Soto wearing
Soto.
that jacket when you see it worn
Yeah.
is as the kids say.
There's the one of Vladdy
Fire.
putting it on.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I've come around on the home run jacket in the Jays bullpen. I thought it was kind of hokey when I first saw it. This jacket, that's leather, right?
Yeah, it looks like
Oh
it.
my
It's-
God, that looks good. That's so good, that jacket. Wow.
It's so good. I
We
know.
need a Sid Seixeiro Show powered by Sick Media jacket that's just pleather. It's not real leather.
Could
It's
do it.
just pleather.
When would you put it on?
Yes.
What makes you put it on? What do you do?
I feel like doing a show. If I hit a home run show,
Oh my God.
Michael in the chat, Sick Media jacket merch incoming. Guys, right now it's a little thin. If the mug is on the website, if you go to sickattire.com,
We'll change that.
you can get the mug.
Hey, we've only been doing this a month. Give us some time here. Come on.
Oh, I know. It's a month. Oh, today's our month anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Happy
bud.
anniversary. I was going to regift the gifts you got me for Valentine's Day. My
Not
wife
even a bag of
my
chips.
wife really wanted me to just regift it. And
There
see
was
if
only
you're not-
one bag of chips left in the vending machine today, and he went and got it for himself.
I do like some chips
And
occasionally.
today you didn't even offer me any on our anniversary. You
I
jerk.
know. I don't believe in
Such
gifts.
a jerk.
We're all like nearly 50. It's fine. Just relax. My gift is you have a living, go buy it. That's my gift. By the way, sticking with the World Baseball Classic before we end the show with some Blue Jays and RJ Barrett.
But TFC.
I'll give TFC credit.
Shout 'em out.
They beat Cincinnati on Sunday night, last night.
Barn burner 1-0.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Josh Sargent didn't play, but a clean sheet for that team. I was really hard on TFC last week for all completely valid reasons. I'll give them credit with a big win against Cincinnati.
100%.
Cincinnati won some games in
I
that
thought
league
we
the last
should
couple
shout
of years.
it out. Shout it out.
So there you go.
Yep.
Tonight, no Jays today. The Jays
Slow
are not
day.
playing today.
Slow night.
The Leafs not playing today. Raptors not playing today. Canada World Baseball Classic, no game today. If you're looking for something tonight,
It's only one thing.
World Baseball Classic, 2-0 USA, 2-0 Mexico in Houston, man. This is the quote from Mexico manager Benji Gil or Heel?
Jill.
Gil? Benji Gil. I was 0 for 2.
Yeah.
Benji Gil.
It's okay.
Mexico manager Benji, it's probably Heel, but whatever. Benji Gil calls tonight's game against the USA not only a baseball game, but one of the greatest spectacles in sports with this WBC rivalry. Game is sold out. Only standing room tickets remain, and that probably by first pitch won't be the case.
No.
That thing will be, Minute Maid Park in Houston will be packed for that tonight. Paul Skeens will be throwing for the States, and a Baltimore pitcher by the name of Manny Barada will be throwing for Mexico. By the way, Tarek Skubal on Saturday, 3 innings, 1 earned run, 5 Ks against Great Britain. We talked about Tarek Skubal of Detroit only pitching the one game. Ken, he was cornered, I believe, by John Paul Morosi during the broadcast. Will you pitch again for the States? And he's now wavering, and he said he might.
Of course.
I would send him home. I would send him home.
Come on.
You make a decision before the tournament. You're pitching one game. You get your ass on the plane, go back to Comerica, and you get ready for your
No, you go to
free
Lakeland,
agent year.
Florida.
No. You said you're not pitching for us. You get the hell out of here because we got enough to win. If they let Tarek
they,
Skubal
though?
stick around, that's a mistake by USA Baseball and Mark
Do they?
DeRosa. Yes, they do. Yes, they're USA. They should win every tournament.
Mm.
They got enough to win.
By the way, have you seen the history between USA and Mexico at this tournament?
Uh,
They've played 4 times.
I know Canada and Mexico's history in this tournament.
Who
They've had a
doesn't
scrap in this
who
tournament.
doesn't remember that? No,
Yeah.
they played 4 times at the WBC. Mexico's 3-1 against them.
Really?
Yeah.
Alejandro Kirk, big night.
Oh, him and
Rowdy
Tellez.
Tellez and Alejandro Kirk are going to have
That
big
video was amazing.
Dude,
Dude, I want to see that tonight.
of Kirk and Tellez rounding
Yeah.
third. It was pretty good. I'm clearing my schedule mainly because there isn't another schedule really tonight.
That's it.
I have to pull away from Amazon's
said-
Canucks and Sens tonight. I really
That'll
do.
be later, wouldn't it? It's in Vancouver.
No, it's 9:00.
Oh yeah, I
It's-
guess that's true.
This
Coach
Mexico.
reminds me.
Go
Go
ahead,
watch Raw too.
What's going on in Raw right now? What's the
Nothing.
main storyline?
Nothing. It's
Nothing?
just I'm there for the CM Punk and Roman Reigns standoffs, but I don't know if they do it tonight because they did it last.
Well, that's all. They do that now once a week, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then maybe Seth Rollins returns at some point. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. All right. I'm going to throw some Blue Jays angles at you, Azo. And if you want to dive more into it tomorrow,
Yeah, because we
we
up
can.
against it here.
But of all the
Just go through all the
of
pitching,
all
man.
the things that happened for the Jays this weekend that were amazing, what, in your opinion, and in the chat on Live on X and YouTube, obviously, let me know. What's the one thing that you think long term is the most important thing that happened for the Jays this weekend? Vladdy going deep for the Dominican Republic and looking like a boss.
Nah, because we know that.
Max Scherzer.
That was pretty nice. I don't know if that's the most important thing, but I like that. I told you I think he's gonna have a better year. Like he knows this team can win now.
Did Scherzer throw 4 no-hit innings?
Yeah. Yep. Sure did. I think
Wow.
4 and a bit. No, or was it 4 exactly? Yeah.
Sorry, it was 4 no-hit innings, and he hit 95 on the gun against
Yeah,
Philadelphia
man.
on Saturday.
He's ready.
Was it Kevin Gosman throwing 3 1/3 scoreless
Also
yesterday?
pretty nice. Also pretty nice.
How about Cody Ponce? 3 innings of no-hit ball
and when
yesterday?
he got up there too, he was looking good. No,
Or Addison Barger going opposite field home run off his own face against a lefty pitcher.
boom, that one
What? So
That
you
one.
think the Barger thing is the most important?
without a doubt.
Why is that?
And then he got up again after that and got another RBI.
He did.
I think he's going to thrive in this. He could thrive in that fourth hitter, in that cleanup role.
But I also think leaving him in against lefties
Lefty.
is a big time move
You're going to need him to
for the
this year,
Jays.
man. They're going to need him to.
Because I think
And again, it's
George,
spring training.
it's spring training, but the reality is, I think it's safe for all of us to assume George Springer's not going to have the season he had last
No.
year because of age and things, and it's fine. George, he made his deposit for the organization.
100%.
He contributed.
100%.
He's fine.
And the days he can. He put him up there, but we'll see how the
He
season
owes
goes.
the organization nothing.
Nothing.
He nearly won the World
Last year
Series
of a
last year.
contract too, right? It's a contract year for him. But no, I think Barger's going to get those opportunities against lefties, and I really hope he thrives in them. I'd love to see him in there almost every day. This is the step you hope he takes this year.
I think the
But if
Barger,
he starts struggling, then I don't know. We'll see what
the
happens.
Barger thing against lefties and righties
Mhm.
could be a game changer this year.
Yes, agreed.
It
100%.
really could be. And the Scherzer thing is shocking. Like to hit 95 on the gun, basically out of your basement, is
And
pretty
4
crazy.
no-hit, like he's ready to go, man.
Like
It's
I was,
great.
I was
didn't
not
expect
expecting that.
I didn't expect that either.
Not expecting that.
And then you also have guys like Jesus Sanchez and Eloy Jimenez having some good springs. Like, we'll see where this goes, man. I might have to eat my words on the lineup thing at the top of the order because Barger is looking good. I really hope. But I also wouldn't be surprised, at some point it could be Varsho, Clement, Vladdy, and then Barger. Like, they have options now. And you just see how they do it in the regular season.
They do. We got a lot of people are saying also Jeff Hoffman not giving up a home run this weekend was big.
Yeah, hitting 97 is promising. Slash Hogger has that. Yeah. Like, again, we got to remember spring training. Remember George Lasher only had 3 hits and then bounced
sure.
back. Some guys have strong springs and then struggle. But again, I think it's really to the Jays' benefit that they start with a bit of a easy schedule against some teams you don't expect to be that good. So
They do.
maybe that can get them fired up and going because it's all. We saw it yesterday in Canada game, man. It's all about momentum. Or Australia. Australia coughed up their chance to move on in this
They
series.
played well though.
They did.
They
They had Japan on
That's
the
a
ropes.
tough group over there, man. With
But they
Korea
had
and
Japan on the ropes.
Tough.
They couldn't turn a double play. Next guy comes up, hits a 2-run homer, and they never recovered.
They should have had him.
They should have had them.
Slosh
And then
in
they
the
got
chat.
killed.
Springer, would you take this from Springer this year? 262, 26 dingers, 78 RBIs.
Most
I would
definitely.
take it. 100%. I would take that.
My only thing is if he's not hitting in that leadoff spot, like who is? But
For now,
we'll see.
that's a problem for another day.
yeah, no, I know.
Problem for another.
I
day.
know.
Finally, 2 things.
Sound like you were going to swear there.
No. By the way, my mom just texted me.
Uh-oh. Hey, Mom.
Sid, 1 month into your show. Wow, congrats. Feels like a lot longer. Keep up the good job.
Hey.
Is my mom also suggesting she's tired of hearing me talk?
I think so.
I think so.
No more 4-hour shows.
Love you, Mom. 4-hour shows. We're just getting World Cup's around the corner, bud.
We'll do one a week. What's this
World
week's?
Cup's around the corner.
Let's go to free.
Wait for this.
for NFL free agency on Wednesday.
We'll save the NFL stuff for tomorrow.
there's
I think
a
there's going to be a
bunch.
lot more.
Yep.
I would like to say congratulations to RJ Barrett of the Toronto Raptors, who yesterday in
What
a
a run he's on.
31-point performance against a shockingly bad for some of the guys they put out there Dallas Mavericks team.
I agree.
Like a kind of shockingly bad. RJ Barrett had 31 yesterday and became the 8th player in the history of the NBA to have 8,000 career points as a Canadian in the NBA. Congratulations, RJ Barrett.
He's been on a run though. Like the last 3-4 games, he's looked really good.
Very good. But the thing I found interesting is I looked at all 8 names that have 8,000 career points as Canadians in the NBA. RJ Barrett, Steve Nash, Andrew Wiggins, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jamal Murray,
Wow.
Rick Fox,
Wow.
Kelly Olynyk, Dylan Brooks.
Kelly Olynyk got there.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Well,
That's
Kelly,
a great
this
list.
is Kelly Olynyk's 38th year in the league. But in all seriousness, 6 of those 8 names have something in common. Do you know what they are?
They're Canadian.
They're all Canadian. Jackass. You're such a jackass.
What's the other guy?
God, I hate your face.
I know.
They're all Canadian, yes. But 6 of the 8 names who have 8,000 points as a Canadian in the NBA started playing after Vince Carter began his Toronto career.
Wow.
So anyone who disputes the Carter effect, shout out Sean Menard, and what that era meant for young athletes in this country, you need to check yourself.
Shove it. You're wrong.
Because there were not a lot of Canadians doing this before Vince Carter. And Vince Carter opened up a lot of kids' eyes. Who knows what athletically they would have done? Some of them would have tried basketball, sure. But who knows?
It's a great point. That's amazing.
So the Vince Carter effect is real. And it continues with RJ Barrett.
Without a doubt, I can't believe people would argue that.
Some would. By the way, Barrett is the youngest out of all of those Canadians to get to 8,000
No
points.
way. Really,
Yes.
huh? I wonder if he heard about people saying they need that third option, and now he's really showing people what he could do.
Potentially. We'll see.
Because I'm telling you, I've never seen a consistent stretch from RJ like this, and I'm really happy to see it.
And honestly, do you know what's lending to this? The fact that he wasn't dealt.
Right.
Because before the deadline, he was frozen out there.
Yep.
He wasn't playing well.
He's been dealing
He
with
was also
injuries
banged
all
up a little
years.
bit. He was,
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
fair to him. But a healthy, not worrying about the deadline RJ, let's see it. Let's see it.
The one Raptors point I wanted to bring up, they're so aggressive on defense, which against the lowly team, a not so good team like the Mavericks, plays in their favor. Do you think they need to do that against good teams, or they get in trouble when they do that against good teams?
Sorry, you mean running?
Just going for steals, playing aggressive.
But that's for now, the way this team is built, that's how they have to play.
Because I think that's what gets them in trouble against good teams.
Yeah,
too.
listen, trying to play half court against Harden is going to get them in trouble.
Yeah.
That's what's going to get them in trouble.
It's true.
Trying to play half court, trying to defend Karl Anthony Towns and OG Anunoby under the hoop right now. That's what gets them in trouble.
Yeah.
But problems for hopefully not the play-in. I think they're going to be a first-round team.
I think so too.
Raptors are good enough to be a first-round team in
They
that
just got to
conference.
put a little run together and beat a couple good teams, and they'll be fine.
Yes. Okay.
Finally.
I think we're done.
One shout out? No?
Go ahead.
CIS? No. I was going to say.
Carlton.
That's
Arash Madani was calling it over the weekend for CBCSports.ca. Once again, Carlton does it. They're 18th national championship.
Yes, indeed.
And they beat Bishops. Bishops had a great year, but Arash was doing a great job out there, and we love Arash Madani on the show.
From
Just wanna
Calgary,
shout him
right?
out.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, just give him a shout out.
Oh, my God. Here's the closing line. I hear Alec Manoah also had a lot to do with the Carter effect in Canada.
That's fantastic. Who put that? That's amazing.
That's a future bit. What does Alec Manoah also take credit for?
Well done, Jay.
What did Alec Manoah play a part of? That is a top level comment in the chat.
That is
top level.
We got to end it there.
My God. Anything else?
No. We
You
have
good?
one more thing, but
No,
we'll leave.
wait. We'll wait. All right. My apologies. We're going to get to Anthony Santander, but we ran out of time. That's it. On behalf of Azzo and everyone here at Sick Media, my name is Sid. You've been watching and listening to the Sid Seixeiro Show, powered by Sick Media. Enjoy the rest of your day. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Take care. Talk.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sid Seixeiro Show on YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook, and wherever you get your podcasts.